What's up, San Diego?
San Diego, turn it up. From the dugout to the sidelines, from the front office to the fan in the stands, this is where San Diego sports comes to be heard.
College athletics is the gift that keeps on giving. This is why I love this stuff.
He's not just talking about the game, he's driving the conversation, breaking it down, calling it out, and saying what everyone else won't.
They start licking their chops, man, when they hear like, oh, look at all these guys the Padres could potentially trade.
This is the voice San Diego sports trusts on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
We're your favorite show's favorite show.
This is the Braden Surprenant Show.
Think about the children, the family show.
Now, here's Braden Surprenant.
What's up, San Diego? And a happy Monday to everybody out there in America's finest city. He's Frank Marchese. I'm Braden Surprenant. This is the Braden Surprenant Show, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Wow, what a great intro there, Frank. Well done.
Thank you.
Round of applause. Give yourself a round of applause.
Got 3 more here coming.
Round of applause.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah. That's where we got more creative this time and decided to write scripts for multiple opens. So we don't have to, so it doesn't sound as stale by the time we get to this point. That was outstanding.
Thank you.
I love that. That was great.
First time doing it, so I wanted to make sure it was right and good. So yeah, here we go.
It was good.
Thank you.
You know it was not good? You know it was
Oh.
not good for the entire month of May? The San Diego Padres. You know what? I will say this before we start talking about the negative of this weekend and the negative of the month of May, because I will turn some of it into a positive, which I'm sure a lot of doomers are not going to like. But at least from the standpoint, the positive note, you know what? We don't have to talk about Fernando looking for his first home run anymore. Thank the Lord.
Goodness.
Thank for all that is
my
holy.
God.
Thank for anything that you believe in, whatever it may be. Thank you. And by the way, it wasn't even a wall scraper. That thing was absolutely blasted. No doubt about it. 451.
Hold on.
My goodness. Goodness.
For our guest last week on the Epic Wings round, the Epic Padres roundtable, crushed.
That's exactly what that was. Oh my Lord. I was in the kitchen in my at my new place, and I was putting things away and whatever. And then my friend goes, oh my God, he did it. And I come running and I see the ball land over the fence, and I'm like, oh my God. I've never been so relieved after a home run in my entire life.
Kidding.
Oh, what? They didn't even win that game.
No.
They found a way to lose that game, but at the same time, I'm like, oh my God, thank the Lord. We don't have to talk about this anymore.
We don't talk about that part. He hit the home run. Don't worry about it.
We
don't worry about anything else.
We don't have to worry about the. You know what? It looked like such a weight off his shoulders. The team, I mean, just completely. I mean, I will say this: as much as terrible as they have been in this month, I will say this: I still think this is the most tight-knit group this team has been in the last handful of years, in my opinion. I know a lot of other people might disagree with that. Like, oh, they've always been a tight-knit group. I think this is the most tight-knit Padres team we have seen. And I think you saw that with the Fernando home run. Now they got to find a way to turn that into wins, because the month of May was not what you wanted the month of May to be. And I think this weekend was the frustrating weekend to really cap off the month of May. What did we say at the beginning of May? Go 500 and you're in the exact same place you were last year. The problem is they didn't. They went 2 games under 500. They played very mediocre baseball at best. I know they swept Seattle, but then, they got swept by Philly. They haven't been playing good baseball. And over the weekend, I mean, that Nationals team is a lot better than it's been in years past, but that Nationals team is still not very good. Their pitching staff is terrible. The starting pitchers are not good. Their bullpen is one of the worst in Major League Baseball. Yet the Padres failed offensively to score any significant amount of runs. My bold prediction going into the weekend was they would win one laugher. Not a single one of those games was a laugher in favor of the Padres. I did say, Saturday's game was the exact example, Frank, of the 75% of baseball games are determined by, in 75% of baseball games in Major League Baseball, the winning team scores more runs in one inning than the entire team does, than the losing team does in the entire game. You saw that in the 7th inning on Saturday with the 6 runs that they put up. I thought that was the first time that Craig Stammen had made like somewhat of a mistake in terms of leaving Michael King in too long. But here's my takeaway on that before we dive into just the disappointing month of May. What happened with Walker Buehler his last start against Philadelphia on the day game? They pulled him with how many pitches?
57.
57 pitches.
58.
He had a low pitch count. He was going to go through the order for a third time. He had just given up a hit and hit somebody or walked him. I couldn't remember. I can't remember off the top of my head. But he had 2 guys on. Here came the top of the order. And Craig Stammen went, we're going to the bullpen. Michael King, I think you would have a little bit more. And what did everybody say? Why didn't you leave him in? Why didn't you leave him in? Why didn't you leave him in? Well, you don't leave him in because you want to go to your bullpen because Walker Buehler hasn't been that great against the third time through the order. Made a little bit of sense to me. Well, now you have the same situation with Michael King. Michael King, who is your best pitcher on the staff, okay, didn't have his best stuff on Saturday. He has the same situation, except they let him load the bases. And then he hits in a run. And then they decide to pull Michael King. And then that's where everything unraveled. So I know it's hindsight. I was not against the move of taking Buehler out when they took Buehler out last week against Philadelphia. I was a little bit against like leaving Michael King in because the risk you take in that situation with Walker Buehler last week is, okay, what if this starts to just unravel a little bit on him and now the bullpen is inheriting a very tough situation? That's exactly what happened with Michael King on Saturday. And so, unfortunately, he gets tagged for runs. The Padres, who had a 3-1 lead going into the 7th inning, that was a missed opportunity. That's one of the worst losses you're going to have this season. It just is. And you have these every single year. Yesterday, another frustrating loss for the Padres. I think losing 2 out of 3 to a Nationals team, I know they hit the ball a lot better, but with how bad their pitching staff is and where they're going to be at the end of the season, and the fact that you haven't lost a series there since 2018, when you weren't even close to the Padres team you are now, I think it's close to embarrassing. You can't have series like that in Washington and expect to be a contender at the end of the year. It's just it's unacceptable. And the thing is, the players knew it because they said it in the post game about how it was a poor performance from them. It was. But at the same time, it's baseball and you got to flush it and move on to the next series. Now, that's going to be even tougher against Philadelphia, who the Padres cannot beat. I don't know what it is about Philly. They can't beat. They can't beat them. So, to me, as I look at where the Padres are at, I look at the fact that I am watching the exact same team I watched last year. It's the exact same team. I mean, you can make a little bit of differences here and there. Maybe the pitching staff is slightly better than last year's team. But if you look at the first month, like month by month breakdown, it's the same team. In March, they got off to a hot start. They started the season 5-0 last year. And then they went 14-11 in April. And they finished the first 2 months 19-11. This season, 1-4 in the month of March, 18-7 in April. And they finished the first 2 months 19-11. In the month of May last year, they went 13-13 to finish the first 3 months of the season 32-24. They went 13-15 this May to go 32-26. In June last year, they went 13-15 and finished the first 4 months of the year 45-39. And if they go 500 in June this year, they will finish the first 4 months of the year 45-39. This is the exact same team from last year. But that shouldn't really surprise anybody, because if you look at this year's team, that roster looks the exact same as last year's roster. The only difference is you don't have Luis Arraez hitting 280. Instead, you got Miguel Andujar hitting around 280, or at least he was. And at least Miguel Andujar puts the ball over the fence every once in a while. But in reality, it's been kind of the same team that you saw last year. Now, last year's team won 90 games. So, as bad as the month of May was, and they went 2 games under 500 in May. How about that, Frank? I mean, we're talking about how bad they played in May. They finished 2 games under 500 in May. 2 games. That's not even that crazy. As they get to June, if they go 500 in June, they'll be the exact same team they were last year after the first 4 months of the year. They'll be the exact same. Now, where the differences are, of course, the runs scored. In March of last year, they scored 24 runs. They doubled the amount of runs they scored this year in March. In April, though, they scored 94 runs. The Padres in this year's April scored 127. In the month of May last year, they scored 118 runs. This year, they scored 88. The other difference, though, of course, is the amount of runs they have allowed. They did not allow a lot of runs in the month of March or April, 9 and 81. Last season, this season, they allowed 25 and 106. In the month of May, they actually allowed less runs than they did in the month of May last year. Last year, they gave up 132 runs in the month of May. This year, they gave up 102. So it's very much the same team as it was last year. Last year's team won 90 games. It's a long season. But I tell you what, they go into Philly and get swept. This thing can get out of hand very quickly, and they got to lock back in, especially on offense. I mean, say what you want about maybe the decision to leave Michael King in after he was running into some issues there in the 7th inning or whatever it was. But the reality is it's the offense. And at least they got a Fernando home run out of the weekend, but the offense needs to turn in the right direction. When we come back, we'll recap what the month of May was. We'll talk more about this series between the Padres and the Nationals. We'll get your phone calls as well, 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. Braden Surprenant Show just getting started on a Monday, setting us over at Sports Station 97.3 The Fan. 10:18 on a Monday. Broadcasting live for the Bill House Studios. We know how. He's Frank Marchese. I'm Braden Surprenant. It's the Braden Surprenant Show. Setting us over on Sports Station 97.3 The Fan. Recapping the weekend. That was rough for the Padres. That is a team that that's a team you got to beat 2 out of 3 on the road. It just is. Especially with how poor their pitching staff is, how poor the starters are, how poor the relievers are for the Nationals, and the Padres were unable to get really much of anything against those pitchers. Is a very frustrating thing to watch. But I'm watching the exact same team I watched last year. We were having these same discussions last year, Frank, in the month of May. We were. And in June. The only difference was I got to miss 2 weeks of it because I was on vacation. That was it. And it was I was so glad I didn't have to listen to it for like 2 weeks, because it gets to a point where you just emotionally start watching this team play and you go like, you start to think that the team is just like terrible. It's like, oh, they're just terrible. They're never going to make the playoffs. They're just terrible. You said that, ladies. Everybody said that last year. How many wins did they get last year, Frank?
89.
90. You did it on purpose.
Yeah, I did.
That's a foul on you. Come on, man.
He draws the foul.
Foul out Monday. I'm just saying, like, the perspective, I mean, right now it doesn't look good, but the reality is it's the same team as it was last year at this point in time. Yeah, it definitely feels worse because it's happening in the present. That's the only difference. But when you start looking at the comparisons from last year to this year, with basically the entire roster being the same, in fact, I think the pitching staff is better. Somebody in the YouTube chat already today was like, oh, how can you say it's better? They had Miller and Suarez last year. I'm sorry. Was Mason Miller a Padre in the month of May? I don't remember that.
No, he wasn't.
No, he wasn't. At this point in time last year, I like this Padres roster more than I liked last year's Padres roster. I really do. But they decided to keep the same team. It's the same team. And you know what? They're around the same spot that they were last year at this time. This is what teams do in Major League Baseball. It's just not fun to watch right now because they looked completely lost at the plate more times than not. But say what you want about this team. I really just think it's the offense at this point. I really don't think the pitching has really let you down too much. I think you had some uncharacteristic play defensively for the Padres. I mean, they've been lights out defensively all season. They had some mishaps over the weekend. But from a pitching standpoint, I think you've gotten a lot of great performances. You know, Lucas Giolito had a bad outing the other day. I don't think that just immediately makes the guy suck. I mean, I just feel sometimes we get a little bit too much in terms of the emotional team. And as I said before, when people have the perspective and they call in, it's like, this is what you were dreaming of 8 years ago, just being in contention. And the thing is, if you're in contention, who knows what you're going to get at the trade deadline? And who knows what happens when you make the dance? I mean, that's basically where you're at. Now, I know it seems bleak right now, but the reality is this is the same kind of mediocre stretch that they went on last year for like 2 months. So I'm just saying, I think the perspective is a little bit different. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. I went through the numbers, Frank, but I look at last year's team and I look at this year's team, and they're the first couple of months, they've kind of been playing the same for the last 2 seasons.
Yeah, you had that big month of April, followed by a 500 May, 500 June, and I mean, it's still, I'm going to say it, I'm going to say the thing, still kind of early in the season. You're a third of the way through. There's still a lot more games to be played. You're right. I don't see too many differences between this year's team and last year's team. Arise is gone. That's really the only difference, but Fernando has picked up his power. Miguel Andujar is here. He's picked up Fernando's power output from last year, and you're getting the same, more or less, offensive output from the bench that you got last year, just with bigger names. So, I mean, it really is. It's a very, very similar team to what we saw last year, playing a very, very similar style to what we saw last year.
I just feel like this is the kind of team that they are. I mean, you're going to have frustrating months. Everybody in baseball is going to have frustrating months. You're going to see that at everybody. And the more I watch other games in Major League Baseball, the more you start to realize that a lot of teams are dealing with the same problems at the same time. So I think they have that perspective. But at the same time, the way this offense is played, I mean, it's been rough. I mean, you just look at last night and you look at yesterday. I mean, in general, the Padres had a golden opportunity in Washington to win a road series against a very struggling Nationals team and build momentum before heading back over to Philly, where you have to deal with Philly, who's just owned you for the last decade plus. Instead, they dropped the series finale 4-2 yesterday and continue to search for obviously answers offensively. The bigger concern isn't just one loss, but it's the trend. The Padres have now lost 6 of the last 7, have dropped back-to-back series, and have lost 3 of the last 4 series overall after sitting 11 games over 500 in May. On May 23rd, they're now just 6 games over 500 at 32-26 entering June. As Juan Ruiz said in the YouTube chat, the team last year never dropped below 6 games above 500. So we'll see what happens tomorrow in Philly for them to kind of bounce back. But I thought yesterday was another missed opportunity for the Padres. I mean, that felt like a game that the Padres needed. Not necessarily a must win, but those are the games that you kind of need. I mean, Zach Littell entered the day with a 5.23 ERA, and Washington's bullpen has been awful all season. And I understand they're coming off a rough week against Philadelphia, one of the better teams in Major League Baseball. You're playing at a really good time. But a series win would have provided some momentum heading into another series against the Phillies. Instead, the Padres manages 2 runs against a very bad Nationals pitching staff. And Gavin Sheets yesterday in the postgame, as laid out by Kevin Acee in his game recap, summed it up perfectly, saying, this is an extremely frustrating game. Said the team let it get away and acknowledged how important it would have been to take a road series before heading into Philadelphia. The frustration is obviously growing with these guys because the opportunities are there, yet they still can't get the results from the offensive side of things. And you know what? Couldn't have said it better myself, Gavin, to be honest with you. That was a game. The last 2 losses that the Padres had against Washington were 2 easily obtainable wins that they just didn't go get. But I mean, that was I would consider that, Frank, a missed opportunity series, going to Washington and losing 2 out of 3.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, Washington, they sit in 3rd place in the National League East. They were a couple games over 500 when the series started, and still are. But I mean, that is a beatable team. That is a team that is full of effectively minor leaguers that are playing over their ability right now. That was a series that you have to take. A good team takes that series. We talk about it a lot here recently, that the good teams take care of business against bad teams. Washington's not particularly a good team. So yeah, Padres really, really let one slip over the weekend for sure.
The numbers on offense are ugly. Here, you ready for the updated stats? Prepare yourself. Everybody prepare yourself for how bad it's kind of gotten. Padres continue to wait for the breakout they've been predicting for weeks. Here's the current offensive realities that Kevin Acee put in the game recap. MLB worst 218 team batting average. MLB worst team batting average. I mean, even this team had Luis Arraez, it probably would still be the worst batting average in Major League Baseball. Second worst OPS in baseball. Scored 3 or more runs only in 5 of their last 12 games. Failed to score more than 2 runs on Sunday. Managed only 6 hits against bad pitching. And the organization keeps saying positive regression is coming. I mean, I think you're seeing it with Fernando. But the problem, too, with the Padres, Frank, is out of their 4 stars, and we're going to characterize, because these are the guys that have the long-term deals from a position player standpoint. It's Xander, it's Manny, it's Fernando, it's Jackson. Out of those 4 stars, they have yet this season to have more than just one of them play at a good level at the same time.
All had a home run this weekend, though.
That's great. That was like one of the first times it's ever happened that all 3 of those guys have had a home run in the same game. But you have to get at least 2 of those guys to be clicking at the same time. I think you're starting to see Fernando come out of it. I think you saw it with the home run. He's got his average back up. He's been hitting the ball well, but I mean, Jackson Merrill has just been rough to watch hit. I mean, the end of yesterday's game was like it was just the chef's kiss of a terrible May for the Padres. I think you could wrap up the month of May for the Padres in that final play of the game against the Nationals yesterday. The taking a pitch for a stolen base, it's called strike 3, and then Merrill slides over the bag for the final out of the game. I mean, hopefully this is an off day that will be a nice reset for the Padres, but it's been rough for the Stars.
As the second worst team batting average in baseball?
My guess would be the Mets.
Thanks.
Is that correct?
No.
Oh, wow. We've gotten better.
They're the third worst.
Oh, my bad. You know what? One off.
Second worst is the team you play this week.
Phillies?
The Phillies have the second worst.
Batting average?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, they got guys like Kyle Schwarber that puts the ball over the fence. He just does it 20% of the time. I mean, hopefully you could get some of these guys rolling a little bit. But offensively, it's just they can't get all they can't. And I'm not asking for all 4 of the stars to perform at the same time. That's a lot. That's a tough ask because eventually they're gonna go ups and downs. It's gonna be hard to all click at the same time. But it would be nice to get more than just one. And right now it's been just one. 833-288-0973. 833-288-0973. Let's get out to Brad and Escondido. Brad, you're on the Braden Surprenant Show. What's going on?
Gentlemen, how we doing this morning?
Doing a lot better than the Padres offense, Brad.
Without a doubt. Soon, by the way, it's going to be Brad in South Carolina. I'm moving in July, but I will be a fan. You're a fan 2,500 miles away.
Well, I appreciate that. Well, enjoy the move to South Carolina. Hopefully it's not too humid for you out there.
Get shorts and a T-shirt. We're fine. Don't worry about it.
What do you got for us today?
Don't worry about it. Hey, keep the faith, fans. Been here since 1970. We got 3 of our stars that aren't even clicking yet, and we're hanging in there. We could be like dead last. And our pitching's, out there. But I would say, take this off day, either go get a bar and get hammered or go out and bowling and forget about baseball for a day and come back refreshed. Because this is where Stammen's going to prove himself.
I think that's a good call. Make sure you drive responsibly. Go do something else. I'm going to play softball tonight in the off day. Try to get your mind off baseball. I'll just get frustrated with my swing at softball. I'll just do that instead. It's good to see Fernando back swinging the bat. I mean, he's got the out of qualifying players, he's got like the team best average right now, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe Ty Francis if he qualifies, but Fernando's hitting 266 now. He's hitting the best out of the group. Ty Francis hitting 286. Xander Bogaerts is starting to stabilize a little bit after a rough beginning of the month. But overall, got to get the numbers up. I mean, Ramon Laureano hitting 203 right now. I mean, I didn't even think that was possible at the beginning part of the season. I really didn't. But I look at this team. This is a tough stretch for them, but their offense is just awful. It's just I don't even know. I didn't even know where to begin with this. And this is why, we got tired of talking about Fernando hitting a home run because there's only so much you could say, Frank. I mean, to be honest with you.
Yeah. How many more ways can we say this offense is not good? How many more times can we say it? How many more stats and video, whatever? How much more do you need for us to say it's not good? It just is not good, and clearly us saying it's not good isn't helping it. So,
Padres overall in the month of May hit 200 with a 340 slug. Good Lord, not great. They hit 31 home runs. That's kind of cool. Padres have actually hit home runs. I mean, that's like one of the only statistical categories that they're not near the bottom of the league in offensively is the home run bit. How many of them have guys on base? Well,
Don't worry about it.
At least they're putting the ball over the fence. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. We talked about Jackson Merrill. This team really needs Jackson Merrill back. We'll talk about what that means when we come back on the Braden Surprenant Show. Static Zimmerman Sports Station 97 through the Fan. $10:39 on a Monday. All of our guests join us on the SDCCU fan hotline. It's not Big Bank Banking, it's better. On Mondays, we do take a dive into the minor leagues a little bit. And coming up in the next segment, we will have Josh Richardson from the Lake Elsinore Storm. Lake Elsinore Storm broadcaster will join us coming up in the next segment, see what's going on in Lake Elsinore in the California League, what some of the top prospects are doing for the San Diego Padres. We did see that, well, at least according to Kylie McDaniel, who is a ESPN baseball insider, who writes a lot of the top 100 prospect lists and everything like that for ESPN.com. He has tweeted out 22 minutes ago that Jace Bowen has been called up by the Padres per source. That is reported by Kylie McDaniel. We'll see if there's a roster move later on this afternoon.
I don't know. I mean, they theoretically don't have to make a roster move until tomorrow.
Correct. I mean, he might be there tomorrow morning. I'm sure we'll wait. Well, they're not gonna make a move until like they put the roster out tomorrow. The what's it called? The lineup. But you will get that report by either Kevin Acee or whoever that's like, oh, Jace Bowen's got a locker here.
Oh, son of a gun. What do you know?
Anyway, according to Kylie McDaniel for ESPN.com, he tweeted this out. Outfielder Jace Bowen has been called up by the Padres per source. He was a 2019 11th round pick from an Ohio high school that's now set to make his big league debut. Bowen has hit 13 home runs and has posted a 962 OPS in AAA in his first season for the Padres after 6 years with the Pirates. Jace Bowen has done really well in El Paso. In our updates with Tim Haggerty, which we've already had a couple of those, we have he has mentioned a lot of the Jace Bowen home runs in the PCL were not like just high altitude home runs, if that makes sense. These were like no doubt home runs in a lot of places that were not high altitude in the PCL. Not every place is very hitter friendly in the PCL. Most of them are. The biggest problem that Jace Bowen has is he strikes out a ton. So as much as he has 13 home runs for the El Paso Chihuahuas, he also has I think he has 50 plus strikeouts already. I'm pulling it up right now because I forget off the top of my head. I saw it last week. He has struck out 59 times, which is the most by any Chihuahua by 14. 59 strikeouts. It's a lot of strikeouts. But you know what? He's hitting the ball over the fence. He's hitting 292. He's got 962 OPS. You know what? It might be a spark. It might be a spark that you need. And maybe they make a roster move and send down Song. Maybe they DFA somebody. I mean, there's a lot of other potential moves that could happen with this. But, at this point, why not give him a chance to go out there and hit? Because maybe he could continue this at the major league level. I just don't want to see him come up and people think he's just going to hit a bunch of home runs and then he just punches out a lot. I mean, the first thing that comes to mind right now is Ryan Schimpf. You remember Ryan Schimpf? I mean, I think Jace Bowen's probably better than Ryan Schimpf, but I remember they pulled up Ryan Schimpf. That was the guy that hit a ton of home runs and was struck out all the time. He had 20 home runs for the Padres his first year. He hit .217 with 20 home runs and had 105 strikeouts in 89 games. His second year with the Padres, he only played 3 years in the big leagues. His second year with the Padres, he had 14 home runs despite hitting 158 and had 70 strikeouts in 53 games. Let me ask you this, Frank. I mean, I think he's probably going to be better than Ryan Schimpf, but if he gives you Ryan Schimpf type numbers, isn't that kind of an upgrade to your offense right now? It's got not a lot of slug and not a lot of, they got home runs, but that's a team that does score a lot of runs. It's kind of nice to have a guy who puts the ball over the fence.
Yeah, and I'm just seeing it right now from Kevin Acee, who posted 8 minutes ago, Annie Heilbrunn retweeting, Jace Bowen on his way to Philadelphia to join the Padres. Corresponding move not known, seems pretty straightforward. He would replace Bryce Johnson unless there is an unknown injury. Padres have been on the verge of calling up Bowen for a while, can run, provide power, and play defense. That's from Kevin Acee 8 minutes ago.
I think it's interesting that Bryce Johnson is the move. And I guess at this point, and I like Bryce Johnson. I think he helped the Padres out tremendously last year. But at this point in time, what is Bryce Johnson doing for you currently on the Padres that Jace Bowen cannot do for you?
Nothing.
I mean, really, Bryce Johnson, he was great last year when they picked him up and he played 55 games and he hit 342 and it was the best he has ever been in a small, the most games he's ever played in his big league career was last year, 55 games. And in that small sample, the guy raked and played good defense. This season he's played in 26 games. He hasn't played a lot. He's hitting a 188 with a 507 OPS. I know he's kind of on the team for defense, but right now it's probably time to try to add some type of power to the lineup. I think it'd be better to have Bowen have an opportunity to play in the field. I don't think he's going to play. I don't know. Isn't Bowen an outfielder?
Yes.
He's a center fielder by trade. I would imagine, because everybody's going well, where's he going to play? Second? No, I would imagine at this point you're going to see Bowen if he plays in the outfield or maybe as a DH because of the fact he's been hitting the ball over the fence, and Fernando plays second base. I think instead of having Nick Castellanos start in right field on days that he plays, I think they're just going to put Bowen out there. That would be my guess. So Kylie McDaniel tweeted it out about a half an hour ago. Kevin Acee now has tweeted out the same thing. As Frank mentioned, Jace Bowen is on his way to Philadelphia to join the Padres. Corresponding move not known. Seems pretty straightforward. He would replace Bryce Johnson unless there's an unknown injury. Padres have been on the verge of calling up Bowen for a while. He can run, provide power, play defense. To me, he sounds like a Bryce Johnson with pop. And at this point, I think you need that more than anything else.
Yeah, he is an outfielder. So I would expect him to play one of the corner outfield spots. If you want to put Laureano out there in right field, again, even after the drop he had yesterday,
he had that rough one on Friday.
Yeah, or put or Jace Bowen out there in right with Fernando playing second. That's kind of what it looks like the Padres are most content to do right now. So Bryce Johnson doesn't have any options left, so he would be going to waivers. Sungmoon Song, who they even said yesterday made a rare start for him. I forget who said it but somebody in the UT said it. He made a rare start. Sungmoon Song has already used one of his options this year. That's a free move that you can make. He hasn't played much anyway. You have Fernando. Who's playing the infield now. You have Andujar, who's been playing third when Manny's getting days off. You've got Gavin Sheets, who can play first or left. You have France, who can play infield. I don't know what the move would be. I would have to assume it's going to be either Bryce Johnson if they're just done with him, or Sungmoon Song because he really hasn't played much and he's not going to get better sitting on the bench.
I know he's not, and you want him because here's the thing with Sungmoon. So I could see this multiple ways. I mean, when you have Jace Bowen he's 25. He is a younger Bryce Johnson that's got more pop. Just for lack of any better term. Like, he's hitting the ball over the fence. He can run. He can play defense. He's an outfielder by trade. He's coming in probably to play the outfield. As you mentioned, so if they're going to do that, I mean, it doesn't make. Honestly, they have like 2 or 3 moves that they could make, and I think makes sense. I mean, one of them is just DFAing Bryce Johnson. I mean, what is Bryce Johnson bringing to the team that Jace Bowen can't?
True.
The other one is Sungmoon Song. And the reason why you would send Sungmoon Song down is you're not using him, therefore he's not getting better. And he's a guy, like a lot of the players that have come over from Korea, that need at-bats. They need reps. They need to get better in the United States with the difference of play. And you don't have to burn a roster spot if you send him down. Because at this point, it seems like Fernando Tatis Jr. is your everyday second baseman.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really think that that's ever going to change. And I think it's funny because, like, we had this whole conversation before about, like, moving him to the outfield. Why would you move him to the outfield when he's, been good at shortstop? That was, like, a couple of years ago when they decided to move him to the outfield. You can move Fernando anywhere on this field, and he's going to make great plays. So I don't know. I could see them either DFAing Bryce Johnson or sending Sungmoon Song down. And I think both of them would make a lot of sense. The other one that I would say, and I don't think they're at that point yet, would be DFAing Nick Castellanos.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think that's the case. Honestly, I think the cleanest bet is to send Sungmoon Song down because he has to play. He's played in 17 games. 17. He's playing a couple of games every once in a while. He has gotten in his last, he's not even getting a lot of at-bats. He's coming in to play defense. In his last 7 games, in the last 7 games that Sungmoon Song has played in, he has gotten a grand total of 5 at-bats. You're not going to get any better on offense or better playing baseball getting 5 at-bats and being a defensive replacement. You're just not. And so to me, that would be it's kind of a waste of an investment, right? I mean, if you're going to pay him the money that you're paying him to be a prominent part of this team, like in the future, he needs to have reps. So I could see one of the two things happening. Either Song goes down, you don't have to DFA anybody, or Bryce Johnson gets DFA'd. But again, if Jace Bowen plays, he's going to have to play too. I mean, you're not pulling him up just to hang around. And if he plays, again, 25-year-old, off to a great start. He strikes out a lot, but he hits the ball over the fence. He's hitting 292 in AAA. He's going to be starting in the outfield would be my guess.
Yeah, I can see you're not going to bring a guy like Jace Bowen up, at least in my mind, unless he's going to play every single day. So I think what they've seen enough out of, they know Bryce Johnson isn't going to be an everyday player. They've seen enough, I think, out of Nick Castellanos as an everyday player. I think they're going to move Castellanos back to his bench role that he had been working with earlier this season, and I think they're going to throw Bowen as a starting outfielder at this point.
I could see that too. 833-288-973, 833-288-973. I mean, if this is me, and we're just kind of guessing here because we'll see what the exact move is tomorrow, but I would honestly send Song down because he needs reps. That's what I would do.
If you send Song down, who would be your backup middle infielder? I mean, we've seen Ty France play in the middle infield. You can move Fernando over to short to get Bogarts a day off. You have Sheets play first, France second, Nando short, Manny third.
I mean, they could
know
get
that's
very
not
creative with it if they wanted to.
That's not that's not ideal, but you have options with guys that you have on the roster right now. That was from a chatter.
Yeah, I understand that to an extent, right? You don't have too many like middle infielders that can do. Like, what happens if your shortstop goes down? My thing is if
you can call him back up. He's already used his option for this year.
If somebody gets hurt and you're going to need somebody, you'll survive the game. And guess who's on a one-way ticket to meet the Padres? It's Sung-Min Song. But you know what? I think you can make the argument too of what is Bryce Johnson doing for the Padres that Jace Bowen can't, right? And I think at that point, if you want to do it for more protection in terms of the middle infield, you go with Johnson and DFA him. If you want to go to try to keep as many guys as part of your organization as possible, you send Song down. That's kind of where I think this is going to go.
Yeah, that's really what it comes down to right now, at least from what it looks like. That's what it comes down to. It's how much do the Padres value Bryce Johnson? That's really all it comes down to.
Right. And how much he brings to the team. Because I don't think Castellanos is about to get DFA'd.
No.
At least not yet. Maybe, does he make it to the entire year? I would say odds are not in his favor. But at this point, I think with the way that the clubhouse likes him and the way that he's, he's gotten some clutch hit. He's got to play better to be on this team longer term. I don't think now is the time for that. But maybe it is. I just don't see that happening.
And his career line, he's also earned the right to go through and try to work through it.
Yeah, he's adjusting to it
with his career play.
When we come back, we'll get an update on Lake Elsinore Storm, some of the top prospects for the Padres, as we will have our guest, Josh Richardson, join us.
San Diego, no warm-up needed. If it matters in this city, you're hearing about it right here.
The Michael King contract, super creative. I think it's a great win for the Padres.
Real opinions, real takes, no wasted time.
It has been the little things that have outdone San Diego State, and that's where they got to improve.
Live and local on 97.3 The Fan. The Braden Surprenant Show starts now.
11 o'clock on the Braden Surprenant Show. He's Frank Marchese. I'm Braden Surprenant. San Diego's number one sports station, 97.3 The Fan. All the new opens Frank has put together. Another round of applause. That's the second new intro one. You missed the other new intro. You have to go back and listen to the open at the top of the hour. Are you doing that all for just this show, the 4 different ones today?
No, they're all.
Oh, all right. In the rotator.
Yep.
Nice. All of our guests join us on the SDCCU fan hotline. We got one ready for you coming up right now as we start to talk about the Lake Elsinore Storm. It's part of our manager report. It's not our manager report. It is our minor league updates that we usually do once a week. We rotate amongst all of the teams in the Padres organization. And right now we're in low A, Lake Elsinore in the California League. And joining us right now on the SDCCU fan hotline, good to welcome back Josh Richardson, Lake Elsinore Storm broadcaster, has some time for us today on a Monday. Josh, what's going on, man?
Hey, Braden, how are you?
I'm doing well. Let's talk about the Lake Elsinore Storm a little bit before we dive into how some of the top prospects for the Padres are doing. How are the Lake Elsinore Storm doing in the California League as of late?
Storm are doing pretty dang good so far. 30-21, first team to 30 wins in the entire California League. They've got the best record in the entire league, 2-game lead in the South Division over Rancho, and that's pretty significant at this point. 51 games into the season and 15 games left in the first half. If you win the first half in minor league baseball, and just like that, you already clinch a playoff spot. So the Storm certainly have their work cut out for them over the next 2.5 weeks to try and make sure that they're playing baseball in mid to late September. But so far, so good in Lake Elsinore.
5-1 in their last series against Inland Empire. What was the biggest takeaway out of that series for the Storm?
The biggest takeaway has to be just how many different ways this team can win games, right? Tuesday and Thursday were just complete comeback, late game heroic walk-off wins. You had a walk-off single from shortstop Jorge Quintana, who's one of the top prospects in the Padres organization, 5th in MLB pipeline. And then Thursday, you get a walk-off win from Carrington Cross, who's on a solo home run to left, who's just in the middle of an absolutely unreal hot streak right now, 20-game on-base streak. What he has been doing at the plate has just been I can't even put it into words how important it's been for this team. So you get 2 walk-off wins Tuesday and Thursday. Wednesday, you put up 8 runs in the 5th inning to come back and win that one 10-4. You lose Friday. That's the one loss you had in the series. And then Saturday and Sunday was dominated by pitching. Saturday, you win 2-0, shutout win. And then Sunday, you win 11-6 with 3 of those runs coming in the top of the 9th when it was, already an 8-run game. It was already pretty decided at that point. But kind of note in both the Wednesday game and the Sunday game was just how much this team can go on hot streaks, right? I said 8 runs in the 5th inning on Wednesday. They put up 5 runs in an inning yesterday, and that was so important. The Storm put up 5 in the 2nd inning. This year, in now 51 games, the Storm have had 18 5+ run innings. That's unbelievable how often these bats can just explode at any given moment. So it really shows, they can win with the pitching because they can hold it down on the mound if the bats aren't, coming to play that day. But more often than not, they're going to score a lot of runs. This team as a whole, when the Storm score 5 or more runs in a game, they're 23-4. Feel like that tells you all you need to know about how this baseball team is doing this year.
Yeah, they got a lot of the top prospects of the Padres. I mean, every time we do these reports, most of the list of the top 30 prospects are in Lake Elsinore. There have been some movement a little bit for the Padres. They've sent a couple of guys up to High A Fort Wayne. But you talked about the offense. You look at the top prospects for the Padres in High A. Jorge Quintana, as mentioned, he was acquired in that Mason Miller deal. Ty Harvey down there in low A. Ryan Weidman, Cale Fountain. I mean, these are just the position players in the Padres prospects top 10. So obviously that might excite Padres fans with the way you've described how their offense has been. Talk to us a little bit more about some of these top prospects for the Padres on the position player side that I mentioned.
Yeah, you mentioned Quintana, and his bat has really been starting to come around a little bit more as well. His defense has always been there. He's got a little bit of speed on the base paths, but it's really been waiting for his bat to start to play a little bit more. And he's had a few extra base hits as of more recently, so he's starting to get a good feel. He's only 19 years old, so he's still obviously really young. He's got a lot of time, and he's going to keep working at it. You can't really measure how important it is to be a switch-hitting shortstop that plays good defense. So even if the bat can come around a little bit more, that's going to be really important. But somebody to keep an eye on, and it's unfortunate for me, but it's great for the Padres, of someone that I don't know how much longer he's going to wind up being in Lake Elsinore, is absolutely Ryan Weidman. 7th-ranked prospect in the Padres organization, 6'4", 200 pounds. He's 22 years old. And he has just been nothing short of dominant this year. When you run through what Weidman has done, he's hitting .314 with 16 doubles and 36 stolen bases. All he does is affect the game in every possible way. If there is a definition of a 5-tool player in the minor leagues, Ryan Weidman has it right now. Because he also has a couple home runs, and he plays stellar defense. Earlier this week, he made a leaping catch up against the wall in center field where he was running out, and it almost looked like an over-the-shoulder catch that you would see in the NFL, trying to track that down. And, doing it with a pigskin might be a little bit easier than doing it 400 feet away with a small circular ball in center field when you got the sun pointing right down at you. So what he can do and how much he affects the game, whether it's offensively, defensively, at the plate, on the bases, that is somebody to really watch out for to make a jump to Fort Wayne pretty soon. I don't know when it's going to be, but I would be shocked if he is still in Lake Elsinore by the middle to the end of the summer. He has been so good for the Storm.
We're talking with Josh Richardson, who is the play-by-play man for the Lake Elsinore Storm. Jorge Quintana came for the Brewers organization, not the A's organization. Let's talk about the pitchers. I mean, Cruz Schoolcraft is the number one guy that a lot of Padres fans are paying attention to, the 19-year-old draft pick from a couple of years ago. 19 years old, 6'8", 229 pounds, having being one of those guys for the Padres in the future. He is one that people want to look at. We talked about it last time. He got off to a little bit of a slower start, but seems like he's starting to settle in a little bit more for the Storm.
Yeah, he really is. This month, so in April, 15.95 ERA in 4 starts. And the biggest thing for him was he just wasn't executing his pitches early in counts because he has strikeout stuff, but his command can also go a little bit wild at times. That's what happens when you're 6'8". You got a big frame, you're 19 years old, and it played in high school, but now you really have to adjust that for the minor league level. And that's something that Schoolcraft was really working on, in April, and has really started to settle in May. So 15.95 ERA in April, 4.67 ERA in May, and has looked a lot sharper. The walks have been a lot more limited. The strikeout numbers have gone up. Back on the 29th, when he pitched against Inland Empire in this series, 9 strikeouts to just 2 walks in 3 2/3 innings. And the 3 runs that he gave up, not a whole lot of them were very hard hit. He gave up 5 hits, and some of them were just kind of weak bloop singles to left and to right, and just not a whole lot of things that he can really do. It's not like the 66ers were putting a whole lot of great contact on it. It was just pitches that they just kind of found and found a hole in the defense. But he has really started to settle in against Visalia. This is his last appearance before that, 3 1/3, 5 Ks, 2 walks, just 3 runs allowed. So he has really, really started to settle in. And honestly, I think his last start against Inland Empire, he pitched 3 no-hit innings against Rancho back on the 15th. but he walked 5 guys and he struck out just 4. And, his ability to go deeper into that game was limited because his pitch count was so high. So, yes, the 3 no-hit innings looks really good on paper, but there were still a lot more opportunities that he gave up for Rancho. I was really, really impressed by his stuff. I think he had the best stuff of the season against Inland Empire in his last start. Just going off of the strikeouts, the limited walks, he was commanding the zone. Never felt like he was scared to attack. And I think as a 19-year-old kid, those are the type of things that he needs to keep working on. And that's going to be the best aspect of where he's going to improve in the future. Again, he's young. He's 19 years old. He's coming out of high school. He was clearly a project, but you can't teach a guy that stands that tall and, gets to the plate that far out and throws 96, 97 miles an hour. He certainly has the stuff to, really be a key piece for the Padres moving forward. And, his development over these last 2 months has been very, very drastic. So I could only imagine what it's going to look like for the rest of the season.
Josh, appreciate the time, man. Keep up the good work up there in Lake Elsinore. Enjoy the trip to Fresno if you guys aren't already there. I know the Storm have the Fresno Grizzlies coming up for the next series, and we'll talk to you in a couple of weeks.
Sounds good. Thanks for having me again.
Josh Richardson, play-by-play man of the Lake Elsinore Storm, joining us on the Braden Surprenant Show. He's courtesy of the SDCCU fan hotline. It's not Big Bang Banking. It's better. So good news out of the minor leagues yet again. The Storm always do really well.
Yeah, they're always solid, more or less.
They always have like the all the best players in the Padres organization are always down there. I mean, you look at the Padres top 30 prospects. We just mentioned it, but they have Cruz Schoolcraft in the top 10.
Mm-hmm.
Jorge Quintana, Ty Harvey, Ryan Weidman, Cale Fountain, all in the top 10 prospects. And then you go further down the list, you got Truett Madonna, who's 22nd in the Padres organization, and Brian Bowser, who is also in the top 30 prospects. I mean, most of the good players for the Padres right now are in low A, which is obviously what you're going to get when you are rebuilding your system. But interesting news today, Jace Bowen is reportedly getting called up to the big leagues. We'll talk about what this means for the roster and how you make this roster out with Jace Bowen in it when we come back on the Braden Surprenant Show. San Diego Summer Sports Station 97 through the Fan. Broadcasting live from the Bill House Studios, we know how. He's Frank Marchese. I'm Braden Surprenant. This is the Braden Surprenant Show, setting us number one sports station, 97.3 The Fan. If you haven't heard the news, it is being reported that the Padres are going to pull up Jace Bowen. It sounds like he is on his way to Philadelphia right now, according to reports from Kylie McDaniel. Been confirmed by Kevin Acee. We are going with those reports. Padres obviously have not made a roster move. I would not expect one until tomorrow before the game against Philadelphia. Jace Bowen is a 25-year-old from Northwood, Ohio. He was drafted by the Pirates in the 11th round of the 2019 MLB June amateur draft from Central Catholic High School in Toledo. He was a top prospect for the Pittsburgh Pirates. And then he was acquired by the Padres during the offseason after a couple of years, obviously, in the Pirates organization. He played for the Pirates in every year except for this year. And he is off to a great start for the Chihuahuas in AAA. This year, he has made 34 starts in AAA in center field. He has made 2 starts in AAA in left field and 7 starts in right field. He has also DH'd 4 times this season for the Chihuahuas. He is on his way up to the big leagues. Now, from an offensive perspective, Jace Bowen this season has 13 home runs. He's hitting .292 with a .962 OPS. And he could be maybe a little bit of a spark for the Padres offensively. And I think that's a big reason why they're bringing him up. Again, a 25-year-old young player, throws right, bats right. We saw him in spring training. He did really well in spring training. And I don't mind the move. His biggest problem is he strikes out a ton. That's the biggest problem that he's going to have to face. But if they're bringing up Jace Bowen, I don't think they're bringing up Jace Bowen for him to sit on the bench. So I think he's probably going to play, which I think means Fernando, for all intents and purposes, might be your everyday starting second baseman now. I really think that's the case.
As if he hasn't been for the last month or so.
I mean, he basically is that role now. So now the question becomes who goes down or who gets DFA'd. I think there's 3 moves you could potentially make. We talked about this to end the first hour. Kevin Acee was alluding to Bryce Johnson being DFA'd. I think that's probably the most likely scenario going into tomorrow. The other one is you send Sungmoon Song down, which I think like Sungmoon Song being sent down would be a benefit for him because he needs reps and he's not getting that right now in Major League Baseball because he's just not playing a lot. He's getting a lot of defensive opportunities, but in the last 7 games that he has played, he has 5 at-bats. You can't get better playing baseball if you don't have at-bats. So I could see that potentially being part of the equation. But let's say they decide to DFA Bryce Johnson. And Bryce isn't putting up good numbers, and he hasn't played a ton. I don't know what Bryce Johnson does to this team that Jace Bowen can't do. So from that perspective, you're taking a bench piece and you're replacing him with Jace Bowen. Now you got to think about the Padres roster and go, who is a starter now on the offense in the lineup that's going to the bench? My guess would be, Nick Castellanos would probably whenever he was playing in the last couple of weeks, because he's gotten some reps in right field or whoever it may be, probably moves to the bench, because I think what they're going to do, and maybe they mix up right and left field, but I would imagine Laureano's going to play left, Merrill will play center, Bowen will play right. You'll have Tatis playing second base, Bogart's at shortstop, obviously, Manny at third. You'll have your rotation that you have at first base with Gavin Sheets and Ty France and Miguel Andujar DHs. And I think that's your roster. And I think Castellanos moves to the bench, which I don't think is that bad of a deal for the Padres. And I think he's going to have a little bit more time as a bench piece spot start guy. I mean, he's trying to adjust to that role. But I don't think this is the move to get rid of Nick Castellanos yet. I really don't think that's the case. I think they're going to give him a little bit more leeway, especially when you have an easier option in either cutting or DFAing Bryce Johnson and sending down Sung-Moon Song. But as you look at the roster, Frank, that's how I think it's going to play out tomorrow. I think that is your, and I haven't looked at the matchup just yet, but I think that's going to be your lineup tomorrow in some sort of capacity. Because I think Bowen's going to start in right, and I think you got to let him play as many games as possible. I don't think he's coming up to be a spot start guy.
Yeah, I think what you've done here kind of over the last couple of weeks is you've given Nick Castellanos a trial as an everyday starter. If they've been talking about bringing up Jace Bowen for a couple of weeks, I would have to assume, at least this is how it would go in my head, we have Nick Castellanos here, hasn't been doing great as a bench guy, but still major league caliber. And we've got Bryce Johnson basically sitting here doing nothing. Let's give Castellanos a chance as an everyday starter. And if he's decent as an everyday starter, then there's no sense in bringing up Jace Bowen. We've got our guy. But now that he has not succeeded in that role, now it's a chance for Jace Bowen to come up. This is not a Bryce Johnson, a Brandon Lockridge, Tirso Ornelas even, that's coming up right now that doesn't really have a chance at being a major league starter. This is a guy who is a top prospect that is finally getting his crack at the major leagues at, what'd you say, 25 years old?
He's 25.
Yeah. So this is a guy who, if you're bringing him up, he is going to start. He fits the mold of a kid who, if he's coming up to start. He's not coming up to fill a role. He's not coming up to sit on the bench. This to be a role player. He is going to be in the everyday lineup. So I think Castellanos is good enough, and it's still early enough in the season for Castellanos to keep his roster spot. As I said at the end of the last hour, it really determines how much the Padres value what Bryce Johnson brings to the team as to whether or not they send him on waivers or if they keep him up and send Sung-Moon Song down.
I think, there's two ways to do this. It's either, they don't think they can get anything more out of Bryce Johnson. And I guess it depends on the value they have. But there's a way to keep Bryce Johnson on the team. It's sending Sung-Moon Song down, which is a clean move. And if that's the case, obviously you're now kind of hurt a little bit when it comes to the middle infield. In terms of a backup, you would have to finagle some things in order to do it. But I don't think Bowen is coming up to sit on the bench. No. He's coming up to play.
Yeah.
He's 100% coming up to play. So again, he spent most of his time with the Pittsburgh Pirates. He went through that organization. And, after being drafted in 2019, the Padres picked him up as a minor leaguer during the offseason. And you know what? He's done a great job of, making his way to the big leagues now by dominating in AAA. And I think it's because he hits the long ball. Now, again, it's a lot of problems with the strikeouts. Obviously that's going to be an issue. If that's an issue down in AAA, probably going to be an issue at the major league level. We'll see what he does. But at this point, I think it's worth the risk. I don't think it's that big of a risk to bring up Jace Bowen right now because it's not like he's one of your top prospects, right? He's a guy you picked up in the on a minor league deal over the offseason. Jace Bowen got up to 21st on the top Pirates prospects in 2024. In 2025, last year, before they ended up not bringing him back, Jace Bowen was not a top prospect. So, he was the 21st best prospect of the Pirates in 2024. Other than that, he had never been ranked in the top 30 prospects of the Pirates. But at this point, it's not like you're worried about ruining the guy. He's 25 years old. You're going to just see if he's got a shot. And if he's got it, and if he takes the most of this opportunity, makes the most of this opportunity, I think it's going to pay massive dividends to the Padres. It would be great.
Yeah.
And they need that right now.
Yeah, they absolutely do. And for Jace Bowen, he's going to get more of a shot because when you look at this year and last year, Tirso Ornelas was really this type of guy. He was expected to be the heir apparent in left field. He didn't really get too much of a fair shake. I think he only got like 4 at bats in the major leagues and did not do all that well in those 4 at bats. I see Jace Bowen as a prospect is going to get a much more fair shake than Tirso Ornelas got. So expect Bowen to be here. I would expect him to play, and if he's not up to the task of playing in the major leagues, he'll go right back down, and the Padres will figure out what to do, whether that be by the time Jake Cronenworth might be ready to come back, or if somebody else is ready to come back off of injury, then he'll be right back down.
I think it's a very interesting move. I think it's an interesting move that they're doing right now. And again, for a lot of people that want Nick Castellanos DFA'd or whatever, I don't think it's the time yet to DFA Nick Castellanos. No. I'm not saying that he's been awesome for the Padres. He's had a couple of clutch hits in a lot of their wins early in the season. I just don't think the timing is now. I think it might be there. I think they're going to give him a little bit more time to try to settle in. And potentially, and just see if he could do a job. I think that's going to be closer to the trade deadline where they can go get a replacement. Because that's as we mentioned before, when it comes to the trade deadline, and I keep bringing up what Tony Gwynn Jr. said on his show a couple of weeks ago now. He brought up a good point where the guys on the team that aren't playing well are the starters and the stars that you're paying a lot of money to. And so if you got to get a bat, you got to have to get a bat that replaces one of the bench pieces that actually had been hitting. Nick Castellanos, if he continues to not hit, maybe that's the replacement you're looking for. But I'm excited to see Jace Bowen go out there and play. I mean, and here's the reality. Like, again, he strikes out a ton. He hits home runs. And he'll be making his debut at Citizens Bank Bandbox. That place is, a lot of home runs leave that yard. So hopefully he gets out there and hits a long ball or two, and the Padres can get some life out of the 25-year-old. But I mean, at this point, I think you got to mix some stuff up. I mean, because if you want to make something happen with the offense, and it's not going to be firing the hitting coach, which we both agree is probably not the best move. It's probably it's got to start being time to start bringing some players up that you think can make an impact. And I honestly think, I don't think they're going to do it this year, but the more Ethan Salas plays, the harder that conversation is going to be.
And like Augie said in the chat, Castellanos is making league minimum, so he has a longer leash here. I understand you guys may not want to hear this, but with what Nick Castellanos has done throughout his big league career as well, he has earned that leash as well. So it's not just the fact that he's on league minimum. It's also the fact that he has successfully stayed in Major League Baseball, has made an impact in Major League Baseball over the course of his career. That, much in the same way we talk about with Manny, Fernando, Jackson, while he's not on that level, those guys have earned the right to play through struggles. Nick Castellanos has done the same thing throughout his career. He has earned the right to have the time to figure this out. And while there are guys on the roster like Bryce Johnson or like Sung-Moon Song that the Padres can move with little to no real detriment to themselves, Castellanos will stay on the team.
Yeah, I don't think he's at this Yuli Gurriel situation.
No,
yet.
He's not a detriment to the roster.
Right. Again, we don't think he's some stud player, because people are trying to make their case of why he's not very good. We understand he is what he is at this point.
Yeah.
I don't think now is the time.
Right now, he is your second best bench player behind Ty France. That's it. If you want to call Ty France or Gavin Sheets or Miguel Andujar or whoever is on the bench that day, Nick Castellanos is your second best option. I
think one in the YouTube chat mentions it perfectly. Perhaps Castellanos has a David Peralta type breakout. Remember,
that's what you're hoping for.
David Peralta was about to get cut, and then he hit the 2-run homer or whatever it was in Texas to help them beat the Rangers, and then they stayed on the team.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm pretty sure AJ Preller told him that as they were celebrating going to the playoffs.
Brother, I was going to cut you
were going to
today.
get cut. Yeah, exactly. Like, that could still happen. So we'll see what happens with that. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. Lack of lineup continuity. Major problem for the Padres. Craig Stammen talked about it yesterday. We'll explain more when we come back. 11:39 on a Monday. He's Frank Marchese. I'm Braden Surprenant. It's the Braden Surprenant Show, setting us over at Sports Station 97.3, The Fan. We're going to talk about this lack of lineup continuity here in just a second. We're going to get to the sports thread. I just saw this go on my timeline. This news story from NBC about one of the guys I actually play softball with, Cody White. Everybody calls him Sunshine. On NBC, he had a report. He got his softball stuff stolen out of the back of his truck over in Del Mar. And what he did was, and you're going to check out the story. Cody then, him and his roommate checked the surveillance footage, identified the people, went to their neighbors, got the, security footage that a lot of the neighbors had with and compared it, tracked down what the car was, and then started scouring through Facebook Marketplace and all these, sites that would sell used sports equipment, Play It Again Sports, all that stuff. And he finds the gear at La Mesa's Play It Again Sports. It's all in the article. And then he goes to La Mesa, Play It Again Sports, and they tell him all the information of the lady that sold him the gear. Gave it to the detective that ran the case. They even have the video of the guy opening up his tailgate and taking the gear out of his car. And so anyway, they track him down, and then at the very end, because Cody, he is he manages a restaurant up in North County, and shout out to his I was told on Thursday of last week that his coworkers love listening to our show. So shout out to Cody's crew at the North County restaurant that he works at. But he did all the work. They went and they found it at the Play It Again Sports in La Mesa. And then he was able to get the gear back. It was very sentimental to him. He still uses his glove that he used in high school. And so he gets the gear back. And the best part of the story is at the end is like the detective told Cody, if you ever get tired of the restaurant industry, the police are always hiring. You could put me down as a reference.
Nice.
I'm pretty good detective work to get his own stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
God, I hate thieves, man. I mean, this guy, there's a video. I see the video. He literally, opens the gate to get to Cody's house, and he runs in, and he's got it. He gets it out of the back of his truck, and Cody's truck's got one of those protectors on top.
Mm.
He literally, he must have known that he had the stuff in his car, but he literally pops the tailgate down, and he goes in and just takes the bag, the softball bag. And then on the surveillance video, it's him and this woman that's just going around, just trying to unlock doors to just take stuff. That's why you got to lock your cars and stuff all the time. Ridiculous. Thieves. Hopefully and that's going to the district attorney now. So I'm just saying, come on, man. Stealing people's stuff. Good on Cody, though. Some detective work to get his own stuff back. Saw the story on NBC. Pretty interesting stuff. Let's talk about this lack of lineup continuity. What do I mean by that? Well, Craig Stammen highlighted this major issue yesterday. So the Padres aren't stringing together quality at-bats. And his point is, one hitter has a good at-bat, another falls with a good at-bat, and then the rally immediately dies because they're not passing the baton, which makes the lineup feel like it's disconnected right now. And instead of building pressure and instead of building the pressure against teams, innings routinely end after one mistake or a bad swing. And that's particularly concerning for a roster specifically built around contact hitting rather than the home run dependence, although they have hit 60 home runs. That is a massive problem that adds to this list. They're not all on the same page. And when you have the offense of stringing together hits and passing the baton, like a lot of the best teams in Major League Baseball run, that's an approach, by the way. When you don't execute that, it makes life a lot more frustrating when not everybody seems to be pulling the rope in the right direction, whether it be getting too overzealous on a pitch or not hitting a mistake or, thinking about themselves maybe on trying to pad the stats. That's another big problem to this team, Frank, the lack of lineup continuity.
Yeah, it looked fine on Friday, and then it all just fell apart over the course of the weekend. So they know how to do it. They can do it. It's just them doing it consistently has been the biggest problem. We've seen flashes of it throughout the year, and when they do show those flashes, they tend to win, kind of the way they did in Seattle when they did that. So they've got to get better with consistency because they're showing, one, they can do it, two, that it works when they do it. They just don't do it as often as they should.
Yeah, and that's the problem. I mean, and again, like, it's true though. I mean, you get through, and I when we watch these games, Frank, I get so frustrated watching some of it's like, oh, that's a great at bat. I mean, how many? I think I said that like 3 or 4 times when we were at the loft.
Yeah.
The day we were at the loft, I was like, that's a great at bat, and then it was, that's a terrible at bat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll be there next Wednesday again when Cincinnati comes in.
Couple of good at-bats and then a terrible at-bat. And you know what? Those stack up where you're not scoring runs. You're just getting guys on base. It's a big reason, too, why the last week and a half they've been so bad with runners in scoring position. What else is going on in the sports world? Before we get to the sports thread, Frank, before you give your first story, I do have an updated story that involves San Diego. Let's get to the sports thread.
You know that group chat? The one that's always blowing up with the biggest sports takes, debates, and breaking news?
You got barbecue back there, and you didn't invite me?
Yeah, we've got that too. Welcome to the Sports Thread, where we break down the top 5 stories in sports, just like you would with your crew.
Oh, no! Disaster! What a bad idea!
No filters, no silence, just real talk. Number 1.
All right, Frank, I got an extra one for you. I don't know if you have this or not. Did you have anything about the tournament at Torrey Pines?
I did not, no.
Getting a new title sponsor.
Go for it.
All right, so according to the Century Club, who is part of the group that leads the San Diego event at Torrey Pines Golf Course for the PGA, they have found a new title sponsor. PGA Tour, Century Insurance, and the Century Club of San Diego announced that Century, Sentry, will assume title sponsorship for the PGA Tour's longstanding event at Torrey Pines Golf Course in San Diego, to be renamed the Century. Set to return to iconic Torrey Pines for the 60th time as the kickoff to the PGA Tour's network debut on CBS. The Century will begin on Monday, January 25th, 2027, and conclude on January 30th with a Saturday finish. The event will be broadcast on CBS, Paramount Plus, Golf Channel, and 3 PGA Tour Studios properties, PGA Tour Live on ESPN Plus, PGA Tour Radio on SiriusXM, and the World Feed. Good news, especially since the PGA Tour wants to start maybe cutting down some of the tournaments to increase the price, increase the purse for some of their others. This was one that was going to be a little bit scary because Farmers Insurance was contract was up with the title sponsor for the tournament. So Century jumps in and we'll have the new title sponsor for, now it's now called the Century at Torrey Pines.
So there you go. Congratulations. PGA staying in San Diego.
Number 2.
In one of the biggest defensive trades in NFL history, the Cleveland Browns are sending reigning Defensive Player of the Year Myles Garrett to the LA Rams in exchange for rising pass rusher Jared Verse and a package of premium draft picks. After months of insisting Garrett was untouchable, Cleveland ultimately accepted the deal that gives them a younger cornerstone defender and a significant future draft capital, while the Rams doubled down on their championship aspirations ahead of a Super Bowl season that will once again end at SoFi Stadium. The move instantly strengthens an already dangerous Rams defense and signals LA is fully committed to a win-now approach. Who do you think won this trade? The Rams for acquiring arguably the best defensive player in football, or the Browns for securing a young star in Jared Verse and a massive haul of future draft stock?
I want you to pause for a second and think about what you just asked me. Who won the trade? The organization that has won has gone to the Super Bowl multiple times and has won it under Sean McVay, who have traded away a lot of draft picks for stars and it's worked out for them and they've had a well-run organization, or the Cleveland Browns that don't win anything and always make terrible decisions.
You're right. The Nationals won the trade. My bad.
There it is.
My-
This is huge for the Rams. I used to be against the Rams trading away their entire future of draft picks just for one player, and then they proved everybody wrong by winning a Super Bowl after doing that, and then, oh, by the way, being very good in the NFL for the next handful of years without using any of the draft picks. So they're obviously doing something right in Los Angeles with the Rams. Great to see them have all the success, especially since they share it with the other team up there and have really put them in the rearview mirror. I like this move for the Browns. I mean, sorry, for the Rams in getting Myles Garrett. That just made that front seven even more scary.
Where the heck where is Clay? Is Clay all right?
He's crying in his beer for sure.
No, I was going to say, is Clay, you good, bud?
Number 3.
The Big 12 Conference is set to become the first Power 4, Power 5 conference to have all of its member schools sign participation agreements with the College Sports Commission, the group created to oversee and enforce NIL regulations following the House settlement. Commissioner Brett Yormark said the move reflects the Big 12's commitment to establishing clear rules and meaningful enforcement in an era where college football governance remains in flux. The agreement requires schools to accept the commission's authority and waive certain legal challenges, signaling the Big 12 is willing to embrace stronger oversight, while many questions remain about how NIL regulations, salary caps, and enforcement will work long-term across college athletics. Is stronger NIL enforcement exactly what college sports needs right now, or will the new oversight simply create another layer of legal battles and confusion?
I mean, I'm glad that they need to put in rules for NIL. I mean, they tried to do it with the the non-biased arbiter that was in there, determining whether or not they were legit. And then that seemed like that didn't really work out too well because they weren't really enforcing any of the rules. They have to start enforcing rules. Otherwise, we're not going to have. I thought Kurt Signetti said a good thing about this. He said they better start putting in some rules, or we won't have college football anymore. That's coming from a team from the Big Ten that just won the national championship that honestly has benefited from paying players.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, we can't do this. It's true. They're just going to ruin it, and then nobody's going to make money. So yeah, you better start putting in rules. Yep. Major League Baseball, college athletics. I'm watching a parallel as they navigate these. I want to say collective bargaining, but until the players get a union and stuff for the college, it's not really that. But yeah, you got to put in some rules.
Absolutely.
Number 4.
All right, so we had Spencer Boyd, who got hurt playing with his kid. We'll chalk this one up to, once again, baseball players, you cannot do anything. Just stand in the corner and don't move. One of the strangest injuries of the MLB season occurred on Sunday when Toronto Blue Jays outfielder Jesus Sanchez was hit on the wrist by a ball thrown from a fan in the stands during the game against the Baltimore Orioles. Sanchez said the ball was tossed by a young fan who apparently thought he was inviting him to a game of catch after making eye contact and interacting with the crowd. Fortunately, x-rays were negative, and Sanchez called it a simple misunderstanding, while the Orioles confirmed the fan was removed as the team investigates the incident. Is this simply a funny and unfortunate misunderstanding, or should teams impose stricter consequences anytime fans throw objects onto the field, regardless of intent?
All right, so I saw some tweets about this. So he started playing catch with the kid. The kid thought it was playing catch.
Yeah, the Sanchez was conversing and interacting with the fans, and the kid thought that interaction was okay. Have a catch. I guess this was between innings or early in the game.
Okay,
before the game.
He threw the ball back.
Yeah, so he threw the ball back. Sanchez wasn't ready for it. It hit him in the wrist, and it knocked him out of the game.
He got a baseball hit him on the wrist, thrown from a child, and it knocked him out of the game.
Well,
is that what it said?
They gave him x-rays.
Oh, my God. Wow. I mean, if you throw anything on the field of play, you probably should get ejected. A child is different.
Yeah, especially when
If it's a child, I mean, it's like, I think you have to have some common sense and be like, all right, well, parents, make sure but it's hard, right? So like, it's just kind of an unfortunate situation. I don't think you should eject the family because the kid threw the ball back because he's a child. I don't know what else to say about that.
There's no way of knowing at the start when it happens or during the game. But even Sanchez said it was a misunderstanding.
Yeah, I'm sure he's fine. I don't think he's gonna like start screaming at the child. That'd be a different issue, I guess. New lunchtime hour. When we come back, we're gonna look more at the Padres being in dire need of Jackson Merrill. San Diego.
This is San Diego sports. The wins, the losses, the moments that matter, and the opinions that come with them.
Padres have clinched the playoffs in back-to-back seasons for the first time since 05 and 06.
No hype, no filter. Just the truth about your teams, your city, and the people who care about it most.
The reality is the expectations are higher now for this club than they were in 2019 and 2020 when the Padres hadn't made the playoffs that many times.
He's been here. He knows this city. And now he's leading the conversation every single day. Live and local on 97.3 The Fan.
This is fun. We're doing this for fun. This is fun. Have fun. Enjoy the fun with us having fun.
Now, here's Braden Surprenant.
New lunchtime hour on The Fan. He's Frank Marchese. I'm Braden Surprenant. It's the Braden Surprenant Show. Setting us over on Sports Station 97.3 The Fan. We're having fun. That was great. Love it.
Found that clip totally by accident, too. I was looking for something else, and that is what I landed on. I'm like, oh, I could do this instead.
You know what about that one? That was when we were doing like a food thing or something with the with the game.
Oh,
what does that have to do with Padres and Pirates?
oh yes.
We were just having fun, dude. I don't know what to tell you. Like the pizza toppings on Friday.
Yeah,
good stuff. Great stuff. New lunchtime hour. What's for lunch? I did meal prep yesterday, so I prepped some stuff.
You did meal prep yesterday in perfect timing for me to bring you a homemade lasagna.
I know. It's great. I guess I'll be devouring that instead of my meal prep later on. Maybe. I don't know. The lasagna is phenomenal. The Marchese lasagna is great. Did you help your dad make that? Or
No, I did not.
What was the occasion? Is it lasagna Sunday?
Yeah, yep. Felt like doing it.
Love lasagna. It's good stuff. So I made some chicken breasts with this kind of a pink sauce pasta, but like instead of using, cheese and like heavy cream, like all the stuff that's like not good for you, it's you do a little Greek yogurt. Made some. I made a tomato sauce from Roma tomatoes, where I just made it quickly with my, not canned, but like fresh tomatoes, some garlic and stuff like that. So that is half of my meals this week. The other half is some ground bison with taco seasoning on a half of a potato, kind of some super potato bowls, if you will. And you make them like taco style. So you could put like some shredded lettuce on there, some shredded romaine, some tomatoes. I'll put a little dollop of Greek yogurt instead of sour cream. If I want to add some avocado, maybe I will. A little sprinkle of cheese, just a little bit though. I don't want to go crazy on the fat, but that will be good too. I can't wait to devour that later as well, especially with the lasagna. Did I peel the tomatoes? No, I threw them in the pan, and then as they steamed, then you take the skin off, make it a lot easier. Did that yesterday. It's good stuff. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. Now I'm hungry. I'll have to eat during the break, I guess. This was written about Jackson Merrill last week at the conclusion of the Phillies series. So obviously this weekend things are a little bit different. Jackson Merrill went 3 for 4 yesterday, which is great. But Dennis Lin put together an article about how the Padres miss Jackson Merrill in terms of what he was in 2024 and even just what he was in 2025 when he missed a lot of time. But this is, again, last week. He went 2 for 3 with a single and a double, his first multi-hit game since May 5th. That was in the final game against Philadelphia, which snapped a 17-game slump in which he hit just 102 with 3 extra base hits and 20 strikeouts. And season stats as of the final game against Philly was a 200 average and a 589 OPS. Now, after yesterday and this weekend against Washington, his overall numbers are a 209 average, so it's gone up, and a 335 slug for a 617 OPS. It's still not very good. But going into the weekend, he was ranked 157th among qualified hitters in Major League Baseball. At 23, he's the youngest player in the Padres lineup and is viewed as the brightest long-term hope amid an aging and kind of underperforming core that the Padres have had, at least this year. But he was the NL's top rookie hitter and all-star in 2024. He signed a 9-year, $135 million extension in 2025, showed resilience in October despite injuries. And so far in 2026, the chase rate is very high, which is similar to prior years. More walks this year than previous years, but drastically lower production and contact quality. And manager Craig Stammen described his plate approach as inconsistent, stingy one pitch, swinging at the dirt the next. Jackson Merrill's very self-aware. He's trying to stay patient, keep to himself in the clubhouse, avoid being the problem for teammates, and he admits feeling urgency to break out. Obviously, he still has positives. He has elite defense. He's already robbed 4 home runs this season. And he's the best base runner on the team per advanced metrics. I know yesterday didn't really work out at the end of the game, but he is still one of the best base runners in Major League Baseball. And he has shown signs of his old opposite field approach in this game, which is great. But the bigger picture here is they need him to play a lot better. On top of the fact they need Fernando to play a lot better and Xander to play a lot better and Manny to play a lot better. And they need to get production out of more than just one of their 4 stars. It would be great if Jackson Merrill can kind of return to form for the San Diego Padres, Frank.
Yeah, for sure. And you saw the kind of impact that he could have yesterday. So it had a home run in this series as well. So he is certainly capable of it. We know that. We've seen him do it. He's really got to figure it out, get out of his own head, do what he's got to do, and help the team out. And we're seeing Fernando do it now. He's had a very good string. Jackson has shown signs of him flirting with kicking out of this slump and then has fallen back into it. This right now looks like another sign that he is kicking out of it, though.
I think it's the beginning of maybe that. In his last 4 games, and the Padres have been 1-3 in the last 4 games. In his last four games, he has had 17 plate appearances. He's 6 for 15, 2 runs scored, a double, a home run, 2 RBIs, 400 batting average with an 1137 OPS. I know it's only 4 games, but you got to start somewhere because before that, again, last 4 games, that's what his numbers were. But before that, I mean, if you want to look back to his previous 12 games before that, he was hitting .071 with a 252 OPS in that stretch. So maybe you're about to see him start to string things together like Fernando did. Because if you look at Fernando, I mean, he's gotten his average way up. And the home run added to that, obviously, on Saturday. I think it's a real big sigh of relief for the Padres and for Fernando, especially that he finally hit that first home run of the season. But if you look at Fernando, I mean, he snapped a hitting streak yesterday when he was 0 for 4. But if you look at Fernando's, last handful of games, last 13 games, he's hitting 373 with an 890 OPS. So he's one of the stars that now has put together a lot better of at-bats and has gotten his average back up a little bit. He's starting to come out of it. I think a lot of people would agree with us on that. Fernando, right? And now you're starting to see Jackson Merrill a little bit. So it'd be great to get Xander Bogaerts back to what he was doing at the beginning part of the season. But at least some of these, the younger part of the core is starting to swing it a little bit, and I think that's an encouraging sign for the Padres.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's what you've been waiting for. It's what you've been hoping for all season long, and you're finally starting to get it now.
So, I mean, as much as and we've spent most of our time talking about Manny because he's hitting 174 right now. I mean, it's the worst start he has ever had to a season in his career. And we've talked a lot about Fernando. We've talked a little bit about Xander Bogaerts just because he had a tough May. We haven't spent too much time on Jackson Merrill, but I think he's really starting to put it together a little bit. I mean, Manny, right now, he's only hitting home runs. It seems like he's got 6 hits. He had a double too. He had the double over the weekend. But in Manny Machado's last 12 games, he's got 4 home runs and a double, which seems good. He's 6 for 42. A 143 average and a 682 OPS. I mean, he continues to struggle at the plate. And I don't even know what you could potentially do to try to fix that problem. I mean, that's a massive problem. It's a massive problem for the Padres to have Manny Machado hit that low and that poor. But at least you have, Fernando got it going a little bit. You're starting to see Jackson Merrill get it going a little bit. I think that's positive steps in the right direction, because at the end of the day, as much as the role players were helping the team out in the first couple of months, we knew that they weren't going to do that the entire way. And you're starting to see that right now as Andujar starts to regress back to the mean. Gavin Sheets starts to regress back to the mean. Ty France has had a great year to start the season, but a lot of those bench players are starting to regress back to the mean. And that's why I think it's a big reason why they pulled up Jace Bowen, or it's being reported that they're pulling him up for the game tomorrow.
Yeah. And that's, again, you're trying not to have most of your positions be an offensive black hole. And the outfield spots are those spots where, especially on offense, you have to have some sort of power. You have to have some sort of ability to hit. And right now, Laureano's not doing anything. He's down to 203 batting average. Merrill looks like he's starting to kick out of it. And then you have this rotation in right field where you can either have Nick Castellanos, who's also hitting below 225. You can have Bryce Johnson, who hasn't really played much at all this season. Or you can give a guy like Jace Bowen a chance, especially with Fernando vacating that right field spot, because you're missing an infielder. You're missing Jay Cronenworth. So this is the kind of spark that you would hope is what knocks somebody upside their head and go, hey, yeah, we really need to do this. You can feed off that energy too, especially with Jace Bowen being 25 years old. If he comes out like a ball of fire, that's infectious through the clubhouse. So if he's up and he's rowdy and he's having success, that there could be a knock-on effect throughout the rest of the clubhouse as well.
I think so too. We're going to continue to talk about the offense. Obviously, it's getting to a vomit effect, if you will. At least we don't have to talk about Fernando hitting a home run anymore. We're glad that is over. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. Somebody in the YouTube chat asked a question. We're going to answer it. What is it about? OPS and counts. We'll get to that when we come back on the Braden Surprenant Show. Settings Number Sports Station 97 through the Fan. 12:17 on a Monday. We're broadcasting live from the Bill Allen Studios. We know how. He's Frank Marchese. I'm Braden Surprenant. This is the Braden Surprenant Show. Setting Summer Sports Station 97.3. The Fan. Talking about the Padres offense. Had some difficult times, if you will. And we talked about the lineup continuity, or should we say lack thereof. The other big problem for this Padres team offensively has been too many missed mistakes, which that seems to be a recurring theme for this team that we have seen the last handful of years. It's obviously one of the most concerning observations from the game yesterday. The Padres continue to miss very hittable pitches. They only had 6 hard hit balls all game. 3 of those became groundouts. Numerous pitches in the strike zone went unpunished. Manny Machado's 401-foot fly out to center was arguably their best swing of the day. But it's not bad luck. They're not consistently barreling the baseball, and they're missing pitches that elite offenses typically damage. And I don't necessarily know, who's at fault there. Like, just thinking out loud. Is it the players individually? Are they getting way too much information that they can't just go out there and just hit mistakes? But I don't know what it is about this Padres team, Frank. But I feel like the last 2, 3 years, 4 years, they've struggled they've struggled mashing mistakes over the course of the last handful of years. And I don't know why that's the case.
Yeah, no, it has not been great. And this is the same conversations that we've had, as you said, over the course of the last couple of years, where we're sitting here wondering what in the world is going on with this team. They're not offensively, they're just not there. And when you need them to be, they're not. When you don't need them to be, they're scoring 10 runs. They're not even doing that now. They're not putting up big run totals. They're just, the lack of ability to hit from this team has only gotten worse and worse and worse as these years have gone on.
Here's some stats for you because somebody asked in the YouTube chat. Ronald in the YouTube chat says, OPS. I'm curious what the OPS for the Padres hitters are on specific counts. The Padres have these numbers. Typically, the deeper in the count you go, the higher the OPS, not just general OPS. Honestly, the Padres are the reverse of that to an extent. And when we look this information up, guess what? It's not very good in general across the board. I will tell you this. For anybody that says you shouldn't swing first pitch, the Padres, when they swing first pitch or when they put a ball in play on first pitch, their OPS is 947, which is better than a lot of other accounts. I mean, you could go through the list here. We're just talking OPS, all right? On base percentage plus slugging. You want that obviously to be high. Anything 700 is like, Anything 800 or more is solid, right? If you get to the 900s or, any 10, whatever, you're doing really well. Padres first pitch, their OPS is 947 as a team. When they get a 1-0 count, it's 848. On a 2-0 count, it's 945. 3-0 count, obviously it's very high, 1333, because they walk more times than not. If it's an 0-1 count, 746. A 1-1 count, 484. A 2-1 count, 799. 3-1 count is an 851 OPS. That's pretty solid. 0-2 count, 409. 1-2, not good. 2-2, not good. Full count, 751 OPS. It's okay. The ones that are interesting, though, too, are like after 1-0. So if they take the first pitch and it goes up 1-0, they are 730 OPS. If they take the first pitch and it's a strike, after 0-1, it's a 526 OPS. Again, first pitch swinging, 947 OPS. After the first pitch comes in, after 1-0, after 0-1, they got a 730 OPS or a 526 OPS, which I find interesting. If they get the count to 2-0, after 2-0, it jumps up to a 911 OPS. And if it jumps up to, if you get 3-0, of course, after 3-0, it's very high because you get a lot of walks, which is not surprising. 1143 OPS. In terms of strikes, all those numbers are not very good. After a 3-1 count, OPS 821. If you look at these other metrics too, no strikes, the Padres have a 988 OPS. 3 balls, they have an 835 OPS. When they're ahead in accounts, they got an 868 OPS. When it's an even count, it drops to 647. And when the pitcher's ahead, it's a 466. It's the benefit of like grinding out at bats. But at the same time, Frank, when you look at those numbers, they got to be ahead in accounts. And what doesn't make that better for them is when they swing out of their shoes outside the zone, which is something that we talked about in the last segment of Jackson Merrill doing too many times. After spitting on some balls, and then chases out of the zone, you can't let the pitchers get ahead in accounts. It doesn't work out for you.
No, you really can't. Once you give the pitchers momentum and some sort of confidence, it rarely ever works out for you. So patience is definitely a virtue as far as getting ahead in counts. But also, again, those first pitch numbers aren't all that bad for this team. So it's either jump on it early or just try to drive the count as deep as you possibly can.
We talked a lot about the numbers for the Padres in terms of versus starting pitchers and versus relief pitchers. They're getting worse, which makes a lot of sense because they didn't hit very well in the month of May. But they're hitting just 208 against starting pitchers this year with a 623 OPS. And before they actually were doing better the second time around against a starting pitcher. But how about this? First time against a starting pitcher, they're hitting a $183 with a 525 OPS. I mean, just letting the guy get comfortable. Batting average on balls in play, first time through a starting rotation or through a starting pitcher, 235. They've grounded into 7 double plays. They have 132 strikeouts, just 37 walks. They're obviously not seeing a lot of pitches, but it's not good. They slightly improve the second time they see him. A 230 average with a 707 OPS. About a month ago, they actually were drastically better the second time through than the first time through. And then if a starting pitcher goes a third time against the Padres, he actually gets better. The Padres then drop to a 224 batting average and a 683 OPS. They have only seen a starting pitcher for the fourth time to the road through the order for 2 at bats. They're 0 for 2. Relief pitching, they were doing a lot better against relief pitching. Now they're only hitting 225 with a 679 OPS. If they see a bullpen arm more than an inning, 346 with a 973 OPS, but that's not very realistic, Frank, because you only see relief arms usually once.
Yeah, no, it's not. That's just a horrifically bad offensive team. And again, it's not on Steven Souza Jr. Because granted, they weren't as bad under Victor Rodriguez, but they were still bad. I mean, it's not. This is a player issue. This is not a coach issue. This is not a game plan issue. This is a players following the game plan issue. It is what it is. And it's only getting worse.
Yeah. And again, you get too many, you get some good at-bats and then some bad at-bats. And it's just counterproductive. It's like 1 step forward, 2 steps back for most of these Padres at-bats throughout the entire team. And again, you could talk everything you want about approach and stuff like that, but unless they are actively doing what they're supposed to, they have failed tremendously from the offensive side. And again, it doesn't really matter what numbers you look at. They're all the same. They're all not very good. The only ones that have been pretty solid have been swinging at the first pitch. So maybe they got to do that more. They tried to do that against Tarek Skubal and Framber Valdez early in the year, swinging early and often, and they weren't grinding out at bats, and they still didn't have great results. It's been tough to watch. I mean, you look at their numbers. How about this? Numbers with the number of outs in the inning. No outs, they're hitting 197. 1 out, they're hitting 231. 2 outs, they're hitting 227. None of those numbers are good.
No.
It's not even like you could say they're good with no outs.
And now you're not only in a situation where you're facing Christopher Sanchez again this week. You should be facing him on Wednesday. You're facing Zach Wheeler now again, too. You're facing him on Thursday. So you got Nola who used to be the ace of that staff, Christopher Sanchez, who just wore you guys out last week, and now you get Zach Wheeler, who's just as good as Christopher Sanchez is.
How about this, too, as we just take a deeper dive into the offensive numbers, or should I say lack thereof. We've been talking about the batting order positions all year long.
Mm-hmm.
We have seen the first bat of the game improve. They now have 7 hits. Thank you, Fernando. 140 with a 419 OPS. Still not great. Leading off an inning, 191 with a 568 OPS. That has been something that has been awful all year, and it's not getting any better. Fernando is actually doing relatively the best besides Gavin Sheets again. But in 65 at-bats, leading off an inning, Fernando's hitting 231 with a 561 OPS. Nobody else is good at leading off an inning besides Gavin Sheets, who's hitting 270. Miguel Andujar's hitting 250 with a 688 OPS leading off an inning in just 32 opportunities. I mean, everybody is hitting almost under 200. In fact, if you look at it, for players that have had at least 24 at-bats to start off an inning, there are only 4 players that are hitting over 200. Miguel Andujar's hitting 250. Gavin Sheets is hitting 270. Fernando's hitting 231, and Jackson Merrill's barely hitting over 200 at 204 to lead off an inning, which is interesting because we argued to have him maybe bat lead off because he was hitting 280, almost 300 when leading off an inning. Those numbers have obviously plummeted. But here's the batting order position numbers that, again, just jump off the page as awful.
They didn't plummet. They fell off a cliff.
The leadoff spot is actually improved with Fernando batting leadoff. 221, 620 OPS for your leadoff hitter. It's better, but it's not good still. Your number 2 hitter, 225 average, 612 OPS. Your 3 hitter, 203 average, 615 OPS. Your 3rd hitter in the lineup is hitting 203 on the season. Now, a lot of that's probably Manny, but when you look at who's hit 3rd, it doesn't really matter. I mean, Xander Bogaerts hitting 167, batting 3rd. Jackson Merrill, 218. Gavin Sheets has done a pretty good job, hitting 267. Miguel Andujar's done a decent job hitting 333. But again, just you go across the board, batting 3rd, 203 average, 615 OPS. Cleanup hitter, 239 average, 837 OPS. 5th hitter, 226 average, 221, 258, 212, 149 down the list. There's not one position on this team in the batting order that leads to any type of offense. This is all not good. And for somebody that's asking these don't mean anything, if you start looking at the overall splits of Major League Baseball, the Padres are near the bottom of every one of these categories for the Major League Baseball splits on offense.
Let's do that. Let's just humor this guy here real quick.
The league splits.
Not even the league splits. Let's go to. I'm going to just pick the Colorado Rockies for no reason.
Please tell me they're better than the Rockies. Maybe
batting order. Go. I have it. Batting order positions. So batting first is hitting what? Batting second is hitting what? Do you have that up for the Padres?
No, I pulled up the league averages. I can get it back for the Padres here in a second.
Ahead.
Okay.
So while we're doing that, we're going to compare.
I got it. I'm ready.
Okay. What's the? We'll just do batting average. Batting first. Padres are.
They're hitting 221.
Rockies are hitting 257. 259. Batting second.
Batting second. By the way, league average 241 for your leadoff guy. I had the league averages up too.
Okay.
Batting second for the Padres, they're hitting 225 collectively with a 612 OPS.
Rockies are hitting 270 with a 799 OPS.
League average 253, 779 OPS.
Batting third, Rockies are hitting 206 at a 640 OPS.
That's terrible.
Yeah, that's not good for a number 3 hitter, especially.
And guess what? The Padres have worse numbers. 203 batting average and a 615 OPS. League average for the third spot, 248 with a 744.
Batting fourth, Rockies, 291 with a 905.
Padres, 239, 837. League average, 244, 741. So the Padres are slightly better for their cleanup spot in terms of OPS, but overall batting average is slightly less.
Rockies 233 with a 615 OPS.
233. Padres 226 with a 617 OPS. League average is 244 with a 708 OPS.
Batting sixth, Rockies are 289 with a 764 OPS.
Padres are 221 with a 689. League average is 249 with a 709. I mean, the last three spots, I don't think we really need to do. I mean, what's batting ninth? I mean, batting ninth is usually not very good. League average is 217 with a 620 OPS. Padres are 149 with a 492. What are the Rockies who are in last place?
223 with a 612.
Wow. Again, it's just across the board. It doesn't matter what number you look at. It's just all.
And I picked the Rockies out of thin air because we're so used to them being pathetic as a team.
Hey, you know what? Their numbers are elevated at Coors Field.
Don't even give me that. That's
a 149 batting average at your 9-hitter is just. I mean, that is awful. I mean, if I pulled up, oh no, I just lost.
That's not major league competent. That's what that
it's
is.
Not good. It's just there's nothing more you can say about that. It's just
no, the talent.
Awful.
Padres UWS. No, the talent is there. The Padres have the talent.
Yeah,
they got all the talent in the world.
Let's not say
they spent $300 some odd million this year on the talent. It's there. They're just not performing.
Yeah, the number 9 hitter. I mean, here's what you could do if you really are interested in this. You could literally pull up the batting splits on MLB on Baseball Reference and then just compare all the teams. The Padres are at the bottom of almost every one of these, like in the entire league. Like if you go to the batting ninth, the Dodgers, the Braves, the Guardians, the Diamondbacks, the top 4 number 9 hitters in all of Major League Baseball are all hitting 250 or higher. I mean, you just pick the Rockies. The Rockies are like in the middle. They're almost league average. The Padres have the second worst batting average. No, they have the worst. They have the worst batting average for any number 9 hitter in Major League Baseball. The worst.
And yet, as I say quite a bit, by the luck of fools, they're 6 games over 500.
It just tells you how great the pitching staff's been.
Yeah.
But if you want to go again, you look at the leadoff spot, right? The best leadoff team is the Rays. They're hitting 309 out of their leadoff spot with a 798 OPS. And if you just look at batting averages for the Padres are 24th out of their leadoff guys are 24th in Major League Baseball. If you care about OPS more, because that's what we like to care about more, the Padres are 28th for their leadoff spot. I mean, you could go down the list like across the board. It's bottom 3. Bottom 5, bottom 6 or 7 almost every single time. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. When we come back, we got to get a contestant for a Midday Sports Standoff. We will get to that. We'll also take another look at some of these numbers, but we do want to flip it to a positive side. We could talk more about some of the life that the Padres have shown, but also what we've seen out of the bullpen and the starting rotation. We'll get to that when we come back on the Braden Surprenant Show. San Diego's number 1 sports station, 97 through the Fan. We need a contestant for the Midday Sports Standoff. 833-288-0973. 833-288-0973. He's Frank Marchese. I'm Braden Surprenant. It's the Braden Surprenant Show. Setting us on Sports Station 97.3 The Fan. If you could call in and take me down in some sports trivia, you'd be qualified for a chance to win our grand prize, a 2-night stay at Town and Country Resort, and a $250 food and beverage credit. Work on your resting vacation face this summer at Town and Country Resort. 3 pools and a 4-story water slide named Twister make Town and Country a family favorite. Rates start at $199 per night exclusively for fan listeners. Visit townandcountry.com/thefan to book now. 833-288-0973. 833-288-0973 if you want to take me down in the Midday Sports Standoff. We're going to get to that in just a little bit. Obviously, the Padres have been struggling offensively, so we will see what they got in store in the month of June. As I mentioned before, the Padres, like in 2026, have done almost exactly what they have done in 2025. They're like 2 games off the pace right now. If they go 500 in June, they will be going into July with the exact same record they did last year, in which they won 90 games. Something to think about as we start a very, again, difficult June. There are some breaks in there that the Padres need to take advantage of. We'll see if they do it. That starts tomorrow against Philadelphia. I think we have a contestant. Let's get to today's Midday Sports Standoff.
Welcome to Midday Sports Standoff on the Braden Surprenant Show.
I can't believe what I'm seeing right now.
The ultimate head-to-head battle where sports knowledge and quick thinking collide.
No, he's no good. Are you kidding me?
Contestants will go toe-to-toe with Braden in a sports trivia deal where every correct answer brings them closer to victory.
Down the sideline! Wow! Unbelievable!
But 3 strikes and it's game over.
This is not Detroit, man. This is the Super Bowl.
Can you outsmart Braden? The Midday Sports Standoff starts now.
All right, Frank, who we got playing today?
We have Kevin and Escondido playing today. Kevin, how you doing today, bud?
Good. How you guys doing?
Good, good. All right. So today's topic, 11 possible answers for this one. Who have the 10, well, it was supposed to be 10, 11 newest stadiums in Major League Baseball?
It was supposed to be 10?
Yeah, the 10th one has multiple answers, so it would be 11. It would have been top 10 newest, but there's
2 tied for 10. They're
yes.
built in the same year.
Yes, so the 11 newest stadiums in Major League Baseball. I will give you a hint. Tampa Bay does not count. I know they played at Steinbrenner last year. That does not count because it was not their permanent residence. So, Kevin,
do you want to tell us the year the 10th team was on so we have a range?
2004.
Oh,
so 2004 and most recent. Kevin, you have the first guess.
We'll go with Petco Park.
It's 2004, right?
Petco Park is 2004. Yep. So we found the basement.
Well, isn't there another team tied?
There is another one, but yes.
I got to think of the other team that popped up with that. What about the first one that came to mind was, and I know it's not the newest, but Target Field in Minneapolis.
Yes, the Twins. That ballpark opened in 2010.
What number on the list is that?
5 on the list.
5. Target Field.
Kevin?
Do we have to know the name of the stadium? Or
No, the team's fine.
Oh, okay. I know the Braves are newer.
Mm-hmm.
Number 3 on the list. That opened in 2017.
What is that one called now?
Truist.
Truist Park. All right, that was 2017. All right, let's think about this for a second. New Yankee Stadium was after 2004.
2009.
What number on the list is that?
That is number 6 on the list. And talking permanent residences. Kevin?
Maybe the Mets.
I was gonna say
That was also 2009.
Was it really?
Both opened in the same year, yes.
Citi Field? I remember the Padres like opened that place up, and like Jimmy Garrett hit the first home run there.
Yeah, I remember that.
You remember that?
I remember that. Yeah.
All right. Texas Rangers ballpark, the new ballpark in Arlington.
2020. That was number 2 on the list.
Was it Globe Life Field
Kevin?
now?
Did we get some Marlins already?
No.
Number 4 on the list.
What year was that?
2012.
Okay.
So we had last year, 2008, 2006, and 2004. Those are the remaining years we have.
Washington. They just played there.
2008.
Is that number 8 on the list?
That is number 8 on the list, yes.
So we're missing 1 2004, whoever's 9, and whoever the most recent stadium was.
Yep. Missing last year, 2006 and 2004. 1, 9, and 10 on the list. Kevin?
Oh my gosh. How about Giants?
No, San Francisco was before 2004. It was in since 2000, but not since 2004.
I'm thinking of, well, there's one that I think is a trick because it seems newer, and I think it's been around a lot longer. And then there's one that I'm curious of. What is it like? Aren't the card like? Didn't they like New Busch? Isn't New Busch Stadium relatively new? Is that the other
2006?
Oh, it's okay. So New Busch was 06.
Kevin, you still have a chance here. You can claw back a tie.
Okay. Were the Padres going to be playing Philadelphia?
That's 04.
We are tied. That was 2004.
Okay. What was the most recent stadium opened? Well, it's not the East. It's not Cleveland, Chicago. It's not Minnesota. It's like
I would give a hint, but it would give it away.
Oh man, the most recent one
last year.
It was last year. We just opened up a new ballpark. Oh man, it was last year.
It's not necessarily new.
Oh, it's a remodel. Oh, you know what? Oh, is it the A's?
That's why I didn't want to say anything because it would have given it away.
Man. Boo this man. That's not a new stadium.
It's a new.
You know what?
I said it.
You know what?
I said it several times.
You know
I said
what?
several times.
You should have said or scheduled to open, I guess.
I said
the A's are about to be number 1 on this list.
I said several times, new permanent home.
New, that's for joke.
As last
Why didn't you
year,
just like cross them off the list
home.
and just go 2020 through whatever? What was after Philly?
The Padres weren't even on that list because it wasn't. They only had 10. I would assume they would have taken that answer, but
the A's. Come on, new stadiums.
Since 200, I would find quite a number of responses for that. I saw PNC.
That was the one that I was like, that ballpark's been here longer than we think.
That was 2001.
Yeah.
Oracle, as Kevin said, was 2000.
I just know most of the old stadiums are in the National League West.
Comerica was 2000 for the Tigers. The Brewers is 2001. Great American Ballpark was 03.
Here's one. Here's a new trivia question. It's like, name the ballparks that were built before the year 2000. That's probably a small number now.
No, it's not. It's everyone on the list. It's half the league. It's more than half the league.
Really?
Yes.
At this point?
Yeah, even Sutter Health. Even Sutter Health was built in 2000. Was opened in 2000.
No, I said the ones before 2000.
Oh, you only okay. So it's everyone I mentioned except for the Giants and the.
I mean, that's
the Tigers.
That's like almost half the league has already gotten a new stadium since 2000. That's what I'm saying. Like the 19. Anyone that starts with a 19 is like few and far between now. And I'm sure there's other teams about to get new stadiums soon.
Well, study up for tomorrow then.
A's will get a new one. When was T-Mobile Park built? 99, 98?
I don't know. We'll figure out tomorrow.
Oh, no, don't make that the question tomorrow. That's terrible. Yeah, when was that? Because that's a relatively new stadium, too. I think that was like probably late 90s, early, because they hosted the 01
It was 99
All-Star game.
Yeah, because it was Safeco Field when it was open. But yes, it was 99.
And what about Houston? That's got to be like
the Juice Box.
The Juice Box has to be late 90s, too.
2000.
2000.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
March 30th, 2000.
That's what I'm saying. Like 2000 on is probably like most of the league now. Probably 60%. Are we at 60%? 2000 on? I mean, before 2000's like Dodger Stadium, Angel Stadium, Fenway, Wrigley, Colorado, Arizona. I think was Arizona in 2000? No, because they're in the original ballpark that they've had since they became an expansion team. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. We got some business to talk about. Major League Baseball Players Association, owners, plus some business in college sports when we return.
Sports the way it's supposed to be.
When one asset of your game is not performing at a high level, you need the other portions of your game to step up and overcome those things.
The takes hit different here.
You know, everybody's all worried about the Padres not hitting home runs. The Padres don't need to hit home runs to win games. The home runs are going to come. It's finding different ways to win.
This is the Braden Surprenant Show.
One o'clock on the Braden Surprenant Show, standing us over on Sports Station 97.3 The Fan. He's Frank Marchese. I'm Braden Surprenant. We are broadcasting live for the Bill House Studios. We know how.
Chat has devolved today.
If you want to laugh at just how crazy some comments are, I mean, people are unhinged about the weirdest things. The 97.3 The Fan YouTube chat today is outlandish. I honestly, maybe I'm missing something here. I really find it hard. I really find it hard to sit here and go, the Padres are not doing well because Fernando is playing second base. I really find that hard to believe. I don't understand how anybody, that's your biggest complaint about Craig Stammen, is that Fernando's playing second base. I mean, what are we doing, dude? Seriously. I mean, what are we complaining about? Well, if he played him at right field where he's supposed to be instead of a position he's never played before. How many games does that cost the Padres? It's not outlandish to use a athlete who came up playing shortstop to play second base to try to get another bat in the lineup. That's the whole reason why they're doing it. To try to improve the offense. Because I don't know who else plays second base. Oh, it's Sungmoon Song. Last time I checked, he wasn't really raking to start the season. But for people that think Sungmoon Song is going to magically make this team better offensively, I don't understand what you're coming from here. Graham Smith, is your first time watching the show, buddy? We get a little animated sometimes on the YouTube chat. But I can't sit here and fathom this, this team's not doing well because Sungmoon Song is not playing second base and Fernando needs to go back to right field. Well, I don't know why. This is the case, but Frank, how many times have we gone through the numbers about how much better Fernando is hitting at second base than he has in the outfield?
Yeah.
Or in the infield to the outfield in his career? He is like catastrophically better as an infielder offensively than he is as an outfielder. On top of the fact your offense is struggling, you're trying to find ways to get bats in the lineup, and the guys that are actually hitting are guys that play corner outfield and corner infield spots, not second base.
And then on the other side, we have Smash the Numbers playing his favorite game of driving us insane, saying that Albert Pujols would have been a better manager for this team because Latin players have more respect for Pujols.
Oh my God.
Craig
Just
Stammen.
stop it. Just stop it. I mean, I've already seen people in the YouTube chat just be like, this station says this. I don't remember ever saying that stuff. Ever. They say this about why Pujols shouldn't be. Nobody said that. I would like to know what the catastrophically bad moves Craig Stammen has made this season that has cost them more games than flat out their offense just not performing. They're not putting France at second base. If you paid attention to anything that they've said, they said in spring training they do not see him as a second baseman on this team. They want to keep him at first. I don't know why I'm entertaining this. Probably because it's funny. Take that up with the front office, dude. I can't believe it. It's just the funniest thing reading some of these comments on the YouTube page. I'm telling you right now, if you're driving around and you don't know anything about our YouTube page and you don't know, you want to laugh your ass off, go read some of the comments left on the YouTube page. It's the funniest thing ever. It's the funniest thing ever. Fernando's been doing better offensively at second base than he has in right field. That's not the whole reason why he's playing there. He's playing there.
That's a coincidence.
It is a coincidence. He's playing there to get another bat in the outfield. That's why he's doing that. And guess what? When Jace Bowen officially gets pulled up, guess who's playing right field? It ain't Fernando. It's going to be Jace Bowen. Why? To get another bat in the lineup. And if you think that because the manager used to be a relief pitcher means your offense can never click, I don't know. I don't know how to say anything different than that's kind of an insane take. But again, as we've mentioned multiple times, like, you can't live and die on every game of Major League Baseball. You're going to go insane. Or you're just going to start throwing out just crazy things. Like, we're going to blame Craig Stammen for the way the season is played out right now? Are we for real?
Well, they're 6 games over 500.
They're 6 games over 500. Look, they've had a rough month. I honestly cannot sit here and say the reason why the Padres had a rough month of May is because Craig Stammen is taking the ball out of their hands. I can't honestly say that. I have seen a lot of people talk. I've seen on social media, Craig Stammen did this wrong, Craig Stammen did that wrong. And I honestly can't find that many decisions that were catastrophically like, what is this guy doing? I haven't seen a lot of Jace Tingler bonehead moments. You want to say what you want about the pitching staff? Guess who can't manage a pitching staff, Frank? Every manager in Major League Baseball can't manage a pitching staff better than their fans can. I've seen it everywhere. You want to listen to Dodger fans. They talk about how Dave Roberts can't manage a bullpen. Talk to any fan of any team. I'm going to ask you, Frank, can the Mets manage their bullpen at all?
The Mets have a bullpen?
Yeah, there you go. I'm just saying. People like to blame people that, and you can't fire the players. I get that. But I can't honestly in clear conscience sit here and put this all on Craig Stammen. I really can't. I mean, if you want to talk about he left Michael King in the game too long because not only did he go out for the 7th inning, which I thought was fine, but they just let him go a couple of batters too far. Sure, I will be like, all right, maybe that was a mistake for him. But I haven't seen him catastrophically not challenge something. I've never seen him challenge something dumb. I've never seen him make too many roster moves that are crazy. I mean, if your biggest complaint about this team right now is the fact that Fernando plays second base, I mean, that's not a lot of problems.
I was just looking because Stam had pulled guys a lot earlier than normal. Like we're used to seeing King throw over 100 pitches. We're used to seeing guys like Vasquez throw in the high 80s, low 90s. I just noticed that all three pitchers this week threw 77 pitches when they got taken out. Giolito had 77 when he got taken out in the third. King threw 77 when he got taken out in the seventh. And Canning threw 77 when he got taken out too.
That's pretty remarkable.
That's just, I hadn't noticed that until just now, and my ability to draw made me say it out loud.
I think Craig left Michael King in like two batters too long. I didn't mind him starting the seventh inning. Didn't mind him, trying to work through his problems. I mean, the way he had been pitching to that point. But that honestly, this weekend, that's the only thing that came to mind of maybe Craig Stammen should have done something differently. That's it. I honestly can't think of any other situation where I'm like, I can't believe he just single-handedly cost him the game. Can you flat out give me an instance? I'd love to hear it. I'd love to hear an instance where Craig Stammen single-handedly lost the game for the Padres, and it wasn't because the offense didn't execute, and it wasn't because the pitchers didn't play well, it wasn't because of the defense. I mean, give me an instance this year, and if you give me more than one, I will buy into the Craig Stammen has single-handedly cost the Padres games. I can't think of one time that's been the case. Maybe I'm missing something.
No, I can't either. And I mean, he got ejected this weekend.
I didn't think you'd ever get ejected.
Good on him.
I knew.
And it wasn't even like a fiery ejection. It's like the umpire had seen enough of dealing with him. It's like, okay, I'm done with you. Go get out of here.
Yeah, here's the classic. Like he brought Wandy Peralta in a high leverage situation. It's like eventually you have to use the guys in your bullpen, and you can't use Adrian Morejon every single night.
And also, what's the context of him bringing in? Who was available? When is the last time Mason Miller pitched? Like, you need to have context to those decisions.
100%.
Throwing Wandy Peralta in the eighth inning, looks bad, sure. But it looks a lot more reasonable when you realize that Jason Adam threw 40 pitches the night before. Morejon's thrown for 3 straight days, and the game's tied, so you're not bringing in Mason Miller yet.
I would love to know. There's a guy that's hating on Craig Stammen in the YouTube chat on the 97.3 one. Give me the specific example, and if you can't, then you have a failed argument. Give me a specific example. I'd love to know. I would love to know the exact example of bringing somebody in out of the bullpen that was so catastrophically bad it single-handedly lost the Padres a game. I'd love to know. I just laugh. It's just like, there's no substance to any of the arguments. It's just, they just want people to just yell and scream about literally not. No, you didn't. In the YouTube chat, you didn't mention the one time. You just came up with a vague time about bringing Peralta in. You didn't give me a specific time or what the bullpen was like and who was active and who wasn't. I mean, that's what you need to know context-wise.
So
otherwise, you're just like yelling to yell for no reason. No, still not specific. Didn't give me a legit time that he single-handedly cost you a game bringing Wandy Peralta in, who, by the way, has had a pretty good ERA. Just like last year, like we talked about, Frank.
Yeah. So what we've learned, to anyone in the Padre front office, AJ, what we have learned over these last 12 and a half minutes is that you need to put Fernando back in right field because that's why you're losing. You need to put Ty France at second base because that's why you're losing. You need Craig Stammen to magically become Hispanic because that's why you're losing, because the players don't respect him because he's not.
That's crazy.
Anything else that we just missed over the last 12 minutes?
People are upset. The Padres are. The Padres have what, like lost 7 of the last 8, and this is It's going to happen throughout the year. As we've talked about before, you win 60, you lose 60. It's what you do in the other 42 that really matter. And they're doing the exact same thing this month that they did last year at this time.
And Sushi Sam is right. You don't even watch the games,
That's right.
so it really doesn't matter.
What do I even know? What do I know? Right? What do I know?
Yeah. So those are the things that we've learned over the last 13 and a half minutes now as to why the Padres are losing games. So if you guys could just do that, the trickiest one of those three, and I'll admit this one's going to be tricky, might take some time. Of those three things that we had mentioned, I think France at second base would probably be the trickiest thing to do. But,
I'm not against that, but they flat out said they don't want to see that. So take that for what it's worth.
The joke of that being that Stammen magically becoming Hispanic would definitely be the hardest thing to do.
That is hard.
So that was the joke. Haha. Everyone laughed. These are the jokes, kid.
I'm still waiting for Channel 4 to broadcast the Padres game from last week.
Who's Angular?
That guy miswrote everybody's name on the Padres like the whole time. I'm just saying. They are moving things around to try to improve the offense. I honestly have no problems with a lot of the things that they have done, and they got to hit better. I don't know how much more I got to say it. There's nothing I can say that's going to affect the Padres, and me saying that some player isn't very good doesn't do anything. It just doesn't.
I'm going to read these last two comments word for word. Angular at first. If you're trying...
Is that like a fisherman?
Angular, not angular.
Not angler?
No, angular. If you're trying to get the best Dolphins on the field, that is your best offensive output.
Are we playing the Miami Dolphins now? Are we taking on Chris Ellis Dolphins?
Those word for word last two comments.
I'm telling you, it's nonstop entertainment. And here's the other thing too. This is what I'm talking about. Like when people like don't listen, it goes like, but Ty France has played second more than Fernando. I don't understand you guys why he couldn't. I didn't say Ty France can't play second base.
The Padres said they don't want him there.
The Padres said they don't want him playing second base. They said it in spring training. I didn't say that. That's what the Padres said. So if you're not going to have Ty France play second base, and you have Ty France, Gavin Sheets, and Miguel Andujar, and you want to get all of those guys in the lineup as much as possible, you have to move people around, which means you have to move one of your more talented players that can play pretty much anywhere defensively, and Fernando Tatis Jr. to another spot. Second base is open. There you go. I don't know what's so confusing about that. I really don't. You move Fernando to second. It opens up a spot in the outfield for one of those players, as mentioned, to try to get him in the lineup so you can try to get your best 9 bats you possibly can in a lineup to try to improve your offense. And by the way, for everybody that doesn't like Fernando playing at second because he's a platinum fielder in right field, I mean, why would you ever move Ty France from first? He won a Gold Glove last year. Why would you ever do that? Just ridiculous. Dexter in Spring Valley, save us from the YouTube chat, please.
So you go to Draymond Green?
We're stirring the pot now, baby. Let's go to Dexter in Spring Valley.
Okay, so let me get this straight. We have a 2-time platinum glove winner on our team.
Correct.
That should prove, granted, he won them both in right field. Okay, so he won them in right field. But let us remember that when he played short, he spent most of his time on the IL because he would blow out his shoulder or blow out his arm because, pop out a joint or something. So he had surgery for that. Hopefully it fixed it, but still. And then Ty France we acquire, who's a Gold Glove winner at first base, and people want to put him at second? Look, he played second when he was here. That was kind of so-so at best. So, yeah, people, I'm going to quote William Shatner from Saturday Night Live, and here's the pop culture reference. Get a life, people. I mean, pay attention to what's going on. You know what I mean? It's like we're just in a dry spell. Holy smokes. It's not that bad. It's not like, you know, if the Padres don't win, you know, push the buttons, nuclear warfare is going to happen, mushroom clouds. I mean, come on. It's just a couple of games. It's a game. You know, they're going to get better. They had a rough May, okay, but they're still over 500. They're still first place in the wild card run. They're second place in the division. So it's not like the end of the world, okay? Oh, and by the way, Fernando finally got his homer. So it's not the end of the world, people. You know what I'm saying? And like, you know, if this is me like basically charging into people like Draymond, then so be it. But I mean, come on. Lighten up, you know?
Dexter, I appreciate the phone call.
It's only a game. Why you have to be mad?
And again, the whole thing you can't consistently say now that you can't play Fernando at second base when he's played at second base, I don't know, almost every game for the last month. I mean, how many more days at second base does he need? What has Fernando done at second base that's been so poor? Am I missing something here?
This is from the same group, by the way, that was screaming to have Jackson play short last year.
I know.
At the end of last year.
Right. It just doesn't make any sense. People just want to complain about stuff. But
that was an incredible spelling of Dexter I just saw in the chat right there.
Oh no.
Conzo, incredible.
Right. I mean, the argument comes down to like when you want to talk about it from a logical standpoint of like filling out a lineup card, would you rather have Ty France in the lineup or Sungwon Song? Who would you rather have in the lineup right now if you're trying to improve your offense? The answer is Ty France. Would you rather have Gavin Sheets in the lineup or Sungwon Song?
Gavin Sheets.
Gavin Sheets. Would you rather have Miguel Andujar in the lineup or Sungwon Song? Miguel Andujar. I'd rather have all three of those guys in the lineup. And in order to do that, I have to move somebody to make that happen. That's what we're talking about. We have to take a break, but what were you going to say?
I was going to give you my lineup for tomorrow, but we can put that off from the other side of the break.
I can't wait to hear this.
Or you just pick it out from the hat.
Oh, don't even start that. This team is 6 games above 500. We do not need to do that. Maybe when we come back, we'll find out. 126 on a Monday. You know what? I don't really want this to be a bit, but it seems to be a crash out Monday almost every Monday now, Frank. So what happens when the Padres go 13 and 15 in May?
That's what happens when you lose 2 games in a row and no one has any form of outlet other than Sam Levitt's pre and post game chat, which is
worse,
psychotic at times.
Oh my God. That is, yeah. I tell you what, that is a different level. That is a different level. He's Frank Marchese. I'm Braden Surprenant. All of our guests join us on the SDCCU fan hotline. It's not big wing banking. It's better.
Thank goodness we do not have a show after a game. After any game. If it's
it's never going to happen.
Post game, if it's Gwen and Chris's post game show, thank goodness we don't have a show after a game.
I mean, it just like a lot of the messages are not. They don't even make sense. It doesn't even make sense. I don't even know what he's trying to say. Maybe they give us a call 833-288-0973 833-288-0973. The YouTube chat today has been hilarious. It's just been dying laughing. I had somebody else. Here was the other thing too. Like I haven't found, again, nobody has been able to tell me a specific game that Craig Stammen single-handedly lost the Padres despite their players giving their best effort and performance. Yet to find one of those.
I don't know if you can genuinely say the Padres have given their best effort this year at any point during the year. I mean, you could say possibly the Dodgers series. They got up for the Dodgers series. Maybe that's about it. But other than I cannot think of a game this year or a stretch of games this year where it looks like we have seen the best that this team has to offer.
Which adds to my point of the fact that the Padres haven't lost because of Craig Stammen. And I don't think the Padres are winning despite Craig Stammen. I don't think they're 6 games above 500. I honestly, I don't really think that's the case. We saw one person has put together I didn't like Craig Stammen do this. And sure, is he going to make every move perfect? No. I think there's some things that you can question, but I don't think anything has been...
Thank you for putting together a rational thought, by the way. We appreciate you.
I don't think anything has been so catastrophically bad where you're like, oh man, he's killing the Padres. I mean, he's going to make a difference of opinion for certain moves, but one of the moves that was mentioned was, having Mason Miller pitch in a tie game. Well, the context matters. He came in the 9th inning against the Dodgers in a tie ball game. At that point in time, in the top of the 9th inning, Mason Miller was never going to pitch in that game with a lead. He just was never going to do it because he would never get to that point. So, are you going to play a game against Los Angeles where your best bullpen arm and the best bullpen arm in Major League Baseball, who is available to pitch, is just not going to pitch because there's no lead to be had? You're just going through, if you were able to get through that inning that went catastrophically bad for the Padres, if they get through that inning and then they go to extra innings, are you just not going to use Mason Miller at all because they don't have a lead? I mean, come on. Come on. I like the way they use Mason Miller for 4-out saves and stuff like that. Maybe they got to be a little bit leery of how many innings they use. But at the end of the day, I don't think there has been a move that you can put the entire game on Craig Stammen for losing. I really don't. And I can't think of one because there isn't any. So hopefully that conversation's done. And I'm tired of hearing the whole, the Padres would be better off if they put Fernando in right field. Who's playing second base? That's going to be, Fernando is I know he has been, quote, struggling, but he is an above average hitter who's probably, if he continues to play second base, will be one of the better hitters for any second baseman in Major League Baseball because they're usually not very good hitters. And you could go get a bat at the deadline to play in the outfield. It actually makes it easier to go get an offensive help for this team. It definitely frees up a space for Jace Bowen. And I think Frank's got a lineup for tomorrow that he wants to put out there.
Yeah, so here's what I would do for a lineup tomorrow, and I would be amendable to making a change to this lineup. Fernando at second, Merrill in center, Sheets DHing, Machado at third, Bogarts at short, France at first, Laureano in left, Bowen in right, for me in catching. I would be amendable to switching Merrill and Bogarts. Just I want to try to catch that lightning in a bottle with Merrill. And now Fernando's starting to hit. So Fernando get on base, Merrill see if he can drive him in, get a couple of quick runs before, or give 2 runners on for Sheets. That I think is the best. That gives the Padres the best opportunity to win a game tomorrow night, in my opinion.
I think just from a position, like just filling out the positions. Laureano in left, Merrill in center, Bowen in right, Machado, Bogarts, Tatis, France, maybe Gavin Sheets, Miguel Andujar DHs. I mean, those 3 are like interchangeable at this point. Then you have, I don't really care who catches. I mean, at this point in time, with the way Freddie Fermin has been hitting at the plate,
your catcher spot's a black hole.
It's the same spot until Luis Camposano comes back. It's a massive problem, and I don't think it gets fixed until Camposano comes back. And even then, it's still a small sample size of what Campy had done before he got hurt. And you never know if anybody's going to be as good when they come back after an injury. So we'll see. But, I mean, there's some problems across the board. I think at the end of the day, the offense needs to be able to hit. And I know that's not an answer people want to hear. But you know what else doesn't do anything? Just me screaming at the top of my lungs that the Padres offense is very good. That does nothing. So tomorrow for the Padres against the Phillies, kind of a 3:40 start time for tomorrow's game. Randy Vasquez against the right-handed thrower of Aaron Nola. So throw some lefties in there if you want. But I think Jace Bowen's playing tomorrow, and I think he's starting if the reports are true. When we come back, we'll talk about the latest update we got from the Players Association and the owners to kind of wrap up the show. If you want to join the show today, 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. He's Frank Marchese. I'm Braden Surprenant. You're listening to the Braden Surprenant Show. San Diego Sports Station 97 through the Fan. 139, final segment of the Braden Surprenant show for a fun start to the week. It's a crash out Monday, man.
No kidding.
Everybody crash out on a Monday.
I mean, my goodness, folks.
Oh, man. It's a crash out Monday. Padres have lost 7 of 8. Things look bleak right now. I could pull up the numbers from the last couple of years, but everybody's like, those don't matter.
Is it really that 7 of the last 8 they've lost?
I think it's what it said.
Jeez.
Yeah, because they got swept by Philly. They lost the last game to the A's. That's 4 straight. And then
6 to 7.
6 to 7 for sure. Yeah, 6 to 7.
Yeah, because they had won the first two.
They won the first two against Oakland.
Yeah, Los
Oaklamento. Anyway, it's going to feel like that when they play Philly this week. I mean, if they don't win a game in Philadelphia, it's going to be rough. All right. You know what?
It'll be Crash Out Friday.
It'll be a Crash Out Friday. Foul Out, Crash Out Friday. Double whammy, baby.
Oh, no. I've fouled out in the first 10 minutes. I have to go home. Darn.
It's all right. We got the Mets coming in soon. It's a win-win for you. Either.
Oh, it ain't?
Yeah, it is. Either the Mets win, and you're stoked about the Mets secretly, or the Padres win, and you don't have to deal with the crash outs as much. I think you got to think about it from a glass half full.
I had to deal with the mocking, though.
Yeah, that's true. You know what? I don't think anybody's going to kick you when you're down, Frank. I guess if you want to look at it from a glass half empty,
excuse me,
it's a lose or lose. It's a lose for you too.
You don't think anyone will kick me when I'm down? Is that what you just said?
Yeah, exactly. I can't talk smack to Mets fans.
That's cute.
I can't. Want to know why? Because they talk smack to themselves. Nobody hates the Mets more than Mets fans do. Plus, by the way, I don't care about Mets fans right now because the Knicks are in the finals. Okay, it's probably fine. We didn't talk about any of the other things that happened in sports. How about the Spurs taking down the Thunder over the weekend?
How about that?
They're in the finals
1999
now.
NBA final rematch. Ironically, the last time the Knicks were in the finals was 99.
It's been a long time.
Has been.
My favorite thing about the Knicks is if they win those street videos, man on the street videos, kill me every time. I die laughing every single time.
No, they're fantastic.
It is must watch. It is must watch.
At the that starts on Wednesday. Tomorrow is game 1 of the Stanley Cup Finals between Carolina and Vegas.
Ha! The Canadian tradition continues.
Yes.
They still can't win. They have never won a Stanley Cup final in my lifetime.
Not in mine either.
Yeah.
92 was the last year. That was summer of 92. I was born December 31st of 92. So not in my lifetime.
Yep. I was born in March of 95. In my I have never seen a team from Canada win the Stanley Cup final. It's great. We appreciate it. Anyway, let's get to what we really wanted to talk about here. We'll get your phone calls too. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. We have an update on the Players Association and the owners exchanging pleasantries, if you will. We'll get to Martin and Santee first. Martin, you're on the Braden Surprenant Show. What's going on?
Gentlemen, Braden, you just mentioned something. You know, it could be better. That's a quote from you. It could be better. It's like everybody that listens to you, every human probably thinks the exact same thing. It could be better. You know, whether it's a sports team, whether for you, Frank, that the Mets were playing better, whatever. It could be better. Sure, we all know that. But again, I'm going to try to keep it as positive as I can, and it's getting more challenging. Just so you know, it's a tough watch sometimes, but it could be better. Yes, we all know that, and I think the Padres, as always, AJ Preller working behind the scenes to try to make it better for everyone. But if everybody just takes a step back, takes a deep breath, and say, you know what, look around. Could it be better? Probably. So give our Padres the benefit of the doubt. And again, appreciate the positivity and the energy that each of you bring, and also just the accurate description of what the heck is going on with our team. And it's not good right now. But I'm going to stick with you, Braden. It could be better. So, gentlemen, have a great afternoon. You got the week off to a great start, and I'm looking forward to the rest of it. So take care, my friends.
Appreciate it, Martin. Thanks again.
Thanks, Uncle Martin.
Something to be said. I mean, we went through the numbers at the beginning of the show. I just talked about 2025. I didn't even mention 2024. But as I talked about earlier in the show, through the first 2 months of the season last year, the Padres were 19-11. The first 2 months of this season, they were 19-11. They went 13-13 in May. In 2025, they were 32-24 entering June. For the Padres this year, they went 13-15 in May and are 32-26 entering June. Last year, they actually went 13-15 in June. So if the Padres go 500 in June, they'll be going into July with the exact same record that they had last year going into July. I didn't talk about 2024. In the first 58 games of 2024, when the Padres were, a lot of us thought we're going to go to the World Series potentially the way that they were playing. 2024, where they won 93 games through the first 58 games of the season, the Padres were 30-28. Again, I mean, it's a long season, and there's a lot that goes into it, and there's going to be stretches. And right now, what I've gotten from that information is May and June usually doesn't do very well. The Padres don't really do very well in the first couple of months of the season, it seems like. And I know that's not a recipe to just, trust me, bro, for the second half. But we've seen this Padres team do these things a lot. And every team goes through different ups and downs throughout the year. Let's talk about the Players Association and the owners for a second. We got some information on that before we get back to the phones. Bob Nightingale, about an hour ago, reported that MLB Players Association interim executive director Bruce Meyer says that the players would actually be taking a $500 million pay cut if they accepted Major League Baseball's salary cap proposal, and reiterated that they will never agree to a salary cap. The MLB owners waste no time responding to Union Chief Bruce Meyer, saying, quote, "Our salary cap and floor proposal addresses our fans' concerns by leveling the playing field while sharing baseball revenue with the players 50-50 like the other leagues. Under our proposal, Major League players will receive more compensation in year one of the system than in 2026. We are ready to listen if the Players Association wants to counter our proposal at the bargaining table." I mean, I look at this, Frank, and I honestly, as much as I saw so much dumb back and forth of people trying to pick a side and act like it's their favorite sports team, I look at this as you can't have one side of this negotiation say you have to fix the problems of baseball and we're not fixing our side. And right now, what I'm getting from the players is baseball having a competitive balance problem is your problem, not ours. We must get paid what we get paid. Which you can't have that. I mean, you have to have it on both sides of the aisle. And right now, in order to do that, you're going to have to put in rules about how much teams are allowed to spend. It's not a crazy concept. And that's what everybody else's league has. And obviously MLB owners have to put some more some better incentives in there, I think, for the Players Association. But the longer the Players Association is stubborn about this and just drags their feet, the more damage they're going to do, because they are collectively, the Players Association and the owners are going to lose money together. Mm-hmm. So they either both lose a little bit of money or they both collectively lose a lot of money. And that's how I kind of see this as they, again, start their, quote, negotiations for the next couple of months.
Yeah, and I cannot stress this enough. This is not 1994. The players had all the leverage then. And up until these last couple of years, if you remember, I think it was 2022, I think was the last lockout.
I think so.
The players had the leverage then too. The public opinion was on the players' side. It's not anymore. That is huge. So when you take a look at potentially losing time and losing potential games and this lockout going on and dragging on, the players are going to be the ones that are getting all of the flack for this, because now It's on them. It's not on the owners. The fans have emboldened the owners, as we talked about last week. The fans have emboldened the owners to be able to bring this up again. And because of that, the owners, I feel, will win out on this one eventually. It's not going to look, the proposals, whatever happens, is not going to look the way it did when the first proposals came out last week. The end result isn't. But I believe the owners are going to get their way this time.
I think so too. I really do. I just think the way that's going to play out. And, again, the only arguments against some of these things in terms of the overall best thing for baseball, unfortunately, just start turning political. And then it's not what you're looking for.
D1115, unfortunately, Players Association is Dodger loving. The Dodgers are in on this. Their owners have said, we want a salary cap. Now, part of that, I'm sure, is, well, we have to show a united front in this and wanting a salary cap. But the Dodgers are on the owners' side here. The Dodger owners have said, we're in favor of this. This is something that baseball needs to have.
Every other professional league has this. And as mentioned in the YouTube chat, I mean, the NHL did this in 2005.
Yeah.
They missed the whole season, and they just finally got to a point where they feel like the league is at an all-time high. So if they're going to do, I mean, I would imagine the owners are like locked into, like we're getting this. You either miss a year of getting paid or you don't, but we're getting this. And honestly, like, I think they have all the leverage. I really do. Because I honestly think they can replace a lot of events throughout the season. A full Major League Baseball schedule? Probably not, but they could keep themselves entertained. I mean,
see how many concerts are at Petco Park now?
Right. How popular the Savannah Banana is going to be?
Oh, no. Oh,
next
they
year.
are going to be in every Major League ballpark all year long.
They didn't have the Savannah Bananas in 1994. I'm just saying. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. Got a couple of minutes here for a couple phone calls. Get to Dan in Chandler, Arizona. What's going on, Dan?
Hey, how you doing?
Doing well.
I just want to throw something in. Before I get to my real question, I believe that both sides are proposing a salary floor, and the players' salary floor is like $150 million, and the owners is $170 million. So the players are making out big time on that, at least the lower level guys. But my real question is, with Jace Bowen coming up, who's going down? Are they going to cut Castellanos, or is it going to be Johnson? What do you think?
Based on the report from Kevin Acee, he was kind of alluding to potentially Bryce Johnson getting DFA'd. I think it's either that or Sungwon Song gets sent down to AAA because he's got options and he needs to play. He's not playing. He needs to play to get reps, to get better at the major league level.
Can any of the Savannah Bananas hit over 200?
Depends who's pitching, I guess. If they could, they wouldn't be a banana. They'd probably be a tin cap or a or a lake captain or a biscuit or
Instead of a banana with a baseball bat, they would be an apple wearing a pot on his head,
pretending he's Johnny Appleseed. Maybe he'd be the eye of the storm. Could be a mission.
Could
be a trash panda.
He could be. As far as the owners go, the floor conversation that he was just having, the players put in a soft floor. Meanwhile, the owners want hard floor, hard cap. The players want to be. I don't understand the thought of a soft floor, because that just means teams are getting fined for doing what they're doing right now. So you've really given them no true incentive to change, where a hard floor does that. But you can't have a hard floor without a hard cap. Otherwise, it's just absurd. It would not work.
And as everything works in this world, every job on this planet is hard capped unless you invent something.
Yeah.
Or own it. That's how it works. He's Frank Marchese. I'm Braden Surprenant. It's the Braden Surprenant Show. Gwen and Chris coming up next. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow after a Padres off day. We'll dive into some other things that is not Padres related. Maybe keep you posted. Talk to you next time.